Are you setting a time limit to it again?
I'd like to get out of here in 2 hours.
Mrs. Mile.
Email. We get out of here in an hour. I don't know. Wait for
Aaron, we don't need to. Just let somebody else do that.
Right.
You don't know,
She's gonna be late. She said 10 minutes.
and that's fine.
Does anyone need a copy? Or we spread it on the good? Or
I think Brian,
I'll look at one. I already read it. You get your prize deal or whatever it was.
That picture. That you even read it.
I don't think it's in here, Brian. I'll have one since you made them.
I like to know of it. I drove all your own get.
Now you
Oh,
can
it is.
find
You
it
can't
too.
see it. It's software.
Hey, if you try to come over now, my access
Yeah,
is
it's
off
the
the
last one.
101. Okay.
Send it to their office.
It's in there.
No. Would we be able to start without Aaron being here to take minutes, or do we want?
Yeah, if you want to, I can,
I got it recorded here, I mean, I don't know.
that's fine, I'll go ahead and, take it until she gets here, I think.
Oh. Okay, this, meeting, this looks like everyone's here, will come to order, Board of, Coquina Water Dam District. Water Control District is now open, and on our agenda, we have, Tony, do you want, you're up first.
Just real quick on the, checking on the, internet on the other, water control districts as far as the websites go.
Mhm.
The ones I checked that didn't have any websites up yet. Of course, that statute doesn't require it until, I think, the
October.
first of the end of, sometime this year. But, the ones that I did find that were listed, online, just about every one of them just posted, a copy of the minutes of the last meeting, but they didn't have a website. So, and my understanding on the Coquina's website was that, it was gonna be temporarily taken offline until it was redone, and then we were to get it and see that it had everything in it that's required by the statute. Present it to the board, and then anything that you all wanted to add to it, we would take it from there.
So you've had time to look at it then, or you haven't?
Well, no, because my understanding is from the last meeting, it was temporarily taken offline, so I can't pull it up. I saw before it was taken offline, had a lot of stuff in it that, quite frankly, didn't pertain to what Coquina is supposed to do. But until we get it back, I can't verify that it has everything in it the statute requires.
Well, according to the piece of paper we had, what was it, DEO? What was that we got on that, with our guidelines off of 189?
Yeah.
We did everything it says full disclosure. Do you want this? This is a copy of what was sent off on the.
Oh, okay. I think I have one going.
There's one for you. Okay, we're up online, correct?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
wanna-
it ever went off, did it?
I tried to access it one day last week after our meeting, and it gave me an error. I went back and tried again, and it did come up. So you may have
Yeah, I've
time.
looked at it several times.
My understanding it was gonna be temporarily taken offline until we review it. But if it's back up, that's fine.
Well, quite a bit happened in meetings between then and now that I thought you would have read the minutes and be up on, but
I saw that Aaron prepared the minutes, I did read that.
so that didn't clarify things for you.
No, maybe I misunderstood it. But like I said, my understanding was that it was gonna be temporarily taken offline.
Right.
All right, then it was gonna be revised by
Yeah.
whoever did it to begin with, then it would be put back up and we could review it. Make our recommendation.
The minutes from the last two meetings from last week, I don't think so. You reviewed last month.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, what happened is it wasn't released to us. We never paid them for it.
Okay.
And it's not, he said it's not amount of just paying, it's his own intellectual property. And so
Well,
we finally come to an agreement last week, and he gave it to us, and it's ours to do with what we want, and we asked him to take certain stuff off, and he's done that, and we decided at the last meeting to leave it up so everybody can look at it, so if people have problems or comments or want something still more deleted or added, it's open for everybody to understand.
all right.
Is there anything,
That was all I had. You wanted something?
I was concerned about whether we were legal beagle on that, and, apparently we are. So, does anybody else have any questions for Tony? Okay, we don't have an account, so, that was another question, Tony. What do we gotta do to comply to everything on, accountant is no longer, she won't be, we won't have her after, February?
March.
The end of February, Mrs. Miles.
I thought you said she
Well,
started
I'd
in
asked her
March.
through March, well, February only has 28
March
days.
1st.
Huh?
March 1st, she expects
Okay.
somebody to take it over,
Okay.
at the very latest,
All right, so she's still on board now?
Yes, sir.
at this moment.
Okay, yeah, if you go to 298.17, it's one of the requirements that, you all select they call it a treasurer, and somewhere else in there they refer to it as basically an accountant, agent. It does not have to be, an accounting firm or a bank or anything like that. It can be an individual or a group of individuals. But I suggest you read 298.17 because if it is gonna be that, a layperson's gonna do it. There's a lot of requirements in there that have to be met, not the least of which is being bonded by two different sureties.
Do the records have to be kept in a bonded facility?
Not in the facility, no, it's just that the people that's responsible for those records have to be bonded.
Does it have to be two people?
No, you can have one person, it does give you the authorization if you wanna select one or more others, you like deputies or whatever you wanna call them. But, the main thing you wanna keep in mind on something like this is, your primary responsibility of that individual or that firm is to account for all the taxes collected to see that Topeka gets its proper share, which I'm sure it does. And then of course, what everything that's paid out. But the other thing too is you have to keep in mind that each year you have to have an audit. So again, whoever is gonna, if it's a layperson that's gonna do this, that's fine, but they really need to be up to speed on, auditing either themselves or if they could refer it out to a separate firm like it's been done in the past. If that's the case, if it's gonna be referred to another, an agency or an accounting firm to do the audit, I would suggest if you go with a layperson and whoever that's gonna be, or persons, that they consult in advance with whoever you're gonna have do the audit, because if you know what their approach is, their requirements are gonna be a lot simpler.
Right. Yeah, I kind of thought we were just gonna take over the checking part of it and still use her, but she doesn't want any part of it, so.
So she, after, you're saying after February, she's gonna have to leave.
Okay, so we have to find somebody else, so, that'd be another thing helpful,
I beg your
Tom, to
pardon.
have on the website is, we're looking for an accountant.
Right, we advertised that, correct?
I don't think so, we need to.
I thought it was online already. I had a lady call me on it.
Really?
Yep. Is it on the website? Does anybody know?
No, there's nothing pertaining to
The one
that.
position we created last time or 2 times ago, I saw on there.
Maybe that's what we're talking about. For an office manager?
So,
or
yeah,
office,
so who called you?
just a lady called me and
Did
she
you write her
didn't,
name down?
well, she talked about it and then she didn't talk about it. So, I don't, I'm not, she works at the appraiser's office, and I just feel that she didn't feel like she really wanted it. She was just inquiring about it.
Wow.
So,
When you call, you can put their name on the telephone number. So
Well,
that's
if they
on
want to-
record-
well, I
for record
didn't think
purpose.
we wanted to go any further as far as filling out an application. That's why the only reason I knew it was online.
Well, it's just a temporary position, but I need to get somebody in it right away to help me with the
What I
accounting.
see online here is the officer of system administrator. So that's,
Okay, where is
That's
this
the
at?
position we created last week, Wednesday or Thursday. I'm trying to figure out what actually got created here.
and it says engineering degree experience in several as engineering consult for board.
You didn't read that, Tom?
Business degree and experience.
We were supposed to have this garbage a week ahead of time, but instead of walking in the door and getting it, I realize I'm a little late here, but I've
Well,
read
I
Brian's
had to
report.
wait on it yesterday when I went to
Where is
pick it
this
up.
at? Dorothy?
This is from this one. I printed this off the internet.
Oh, you printed it off,
Yeah.
and I thought it was in
No,
front
it's
of
not
me
in
here, and I couldn't
here.
find it.
Here, I put it-
This is what was on the internet?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I got confused here all hopeless. Okay, so nobody applied for this, or nobody, I haven't heard.
Well,
The
that's a
lady
bit of
called
a
me, and
problem
that was
there.
it.
I don't know
I guess
how-
this is what was on there. At the same time, my internet service went out the other day too. With that storm, and it's
But
back
you know,
online
this,
now.
this ad here, to me, it's very intimidating because, it says here, fluent in English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Italian. So,
Oh.
And those aren't requirements, Dorothy. Those are just suggestions.
well, why would we put
I
that in
can't
the ad?
apply for it.
I would try to put this in the ad,
one person.
you know?
Portuguese?
Yes, it's right
Yeah, well, we got a
here,
lot of
see there?
Portuguese residents out here.
Oh, okay. Alright, so, do we
At
have,
least
we
a
have
family or
nobody
two
applied
involved.
for it so far? or-
No
No,
wonder.
we don't really have an application ability because we don't have an open office. We haven't had all our employees here. We don't,
I
if we're
think,
not taking applications online, I don't know how anybody's
I
ever
think
gonna
this
get hired.
office had done it. Last year, I made a package because all the application was with Brown and Williams. So I made a package and give it to Danny here. So
You're supposed to be,
there
yeah.
is a package here.
The only
But my
thing
point
I
is,
have,
he's been gone. Has the office been open for people to go? Have we listed a way to apply?
Barney is here, so I don't know. I don't know.
Mrs. Miles, this is the only applications I have. Is there more than this? Because it's only one page, it really doesn't tell you a whole lot. See that?
That's not
That's not.
Where are they
it.
here in the
Brown
shop?
Williams has an
Yeah, and
entire
I made
package for
copies.
you.
They
It's
have
in
the
here.
package.
I don't know, it's in here. I don't know.
Andy said there was stuff here, but I,
Dr.
have no
Paul,
idea.
Yeah, he did have some of the applications. I don't know if I found it.
because I was under the understanding that this was going to, people would call the shop here to apply for,
This is prior to now, nobody made applications here. Everything was done at with Brown and Williams. But when I was working for the 1 year there, I made copies and he has it here. All the papers are together. What's the requirement?
Okay, well, it's online, I'm ready to take some applications. If we got an application for somebody to fill out, I can't be for you.
Well, you can cross anything
I
off that
speak
list. He
English
made that as a
from-
suggestion.
Huh?
If there's something on there you don't like, we can cross it off. We asked him to make up a list
Do you
of
have-
possible
Do you have any?
necessities. Cross it off of there.
The application.
I don't know if I have an
Yeah.
application, I just have somebody in the line card for
We
us.
can just go with
But I can
English.
get
It'd be
one.
nice to, English and Spanish would be nice.
Doesn't say that.
You live in America.
I saw English and Spanish on there, and then there were some other ones. And then we do have people out here that speak French primarily, and so that's a nice perk, but it's not that necessary. I think we're in the United States. You should come here and speak English.
Yes.
Spanish is nice, but if you guys don't like that on there, just take it off. Don't make it. It's only a request, anyways.
So you
Okay,
did
well,
it-
we really
you
need
did
to
it?
get some people,
Who
get somebody
wrote
hired
it
on
up?
this job. because-
We asked our webmaster to create up what he knows we would need, because we don't know, because we didn't do it. And so he just started putting stuff on there, all the stuff we wanted done, and we were supposed to look at it. We don't have to stick by it.
All that kind of-
Amend it however you want. It's just a suggestion.
Okay.
You know, we don't need a rocket scientist to apply for this
Amen.
job here.
Well, we do need to get
It
our
has to be
accounting in
very
order.
simple.
Get it done.
So
Right.
people can work. Simple. Yeah.
But to set up a security system and to set up an accounting system, we need somebody pretty technical. We can either hire a couple different people.
I'd rather hire one person, get it done, and as soon as we have I don't see a application anywhere, I guess we needed some applications so we can start filling them out.
Can I
Dorothy
make-
says we have them.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, ma'am.
We have it online, plus we put it in the Okeechobee News, because a lot of people read Okeechobee News for job, so we need to put it there.
Okay, can I just point out that as a treasurer, I need help with the treasury thing, whether it's that person or not, I need somebody to help me set up the accounting system on the computer, because on the 22nd, this next week,
Okay,
We're-
that's who you wanna hire.
well, I've been talking to the webmaster, we could maybe make him an offer on that particular thing. I don't know if, he has it as a part of the whole job. If you guys want to have him do the whole job,
We need more
or we can
applications.
cut it out as one.
We need more applications. The webmaster has done a very distasteful suggestion on the website, and everybody is upset about it. I get calls left, right, and center.
Do you have a link that you can apply online?
That's what we wanted, but some people refused to go online because they didn't like our website, so we couldn't do that, we said. I say let's,
that would give you a good clue if someone's technical or not, if they're able to actually apply online.
Well, that wasn't any official website.
when we said it, it was, but, well,
No, really.
No,
We're
it says
subjected to-
unofficial website.
Right.
So
You know,
that's what it
talking
says.
about.
Okay,
well,
well,
we can't make it official till we have a webmaster. Does everybody
So then
understand
that's
that?
right, and as far as I'm concerned, Chip has done it all and he's got my vote. I mean, just to get going on this thing, because we gotta do something.
Is it on Facebook? It is not on Craigslist?
Nobody had an opportunity to apply.
But the ad has to be
It's
there
been
for someone
online,
to
so I
apply.
don't know what to tell you.
Online, that's an unofficial website.
Okay.
We need to advertise.
What
We need
time,
to
what
put it
is
back on.
it?
Yeah,
It's
we need
Wednesday,
to
Well,
right?
here's the thing, we either need to take back everything we've said about our accounting, which now we don't have an accountant, or we need to move forward on this. I don't care if we
Okay,
advertise,
let's
but I need
advertise it
somebody
in the
like
paper. Can we
this
get
week.
it in tomorrow?
If I get it to them today, it'll go in Friday or Sunday.
And for one day, and the rest of it, let's open this line on the
Can we
website
open-
up, and let's put it on the website and get some applications in here by next Wednesday.
Well, we don't have a
Or Friday,
webmaster to
we
put
need to-
applications on our website, and our website at this moment isn't official, is somebody's
I
problem
can
with that,
contact
so.
our office for an application if they want. I can put an ad in the paper.
Well, I think the
They can run-
website, if it was up online,
But
It's official
right
now.
now, who's,
More
nobody
people
knows
can get on the
about the
computer than they
website.
can read the
We need to
papers.
advertise the website too. Nobody knows about it.
What are you gonna add?
Somehow we need to hire somebody by next Friday, okay?
Well, if we do it by next Friday, it's a little bit late because
Okay, next Wednesday.
Next
All right,
Monday.
I make a motion, we
Next
hire
Monday.
Chip temporarily for 6 months and go for it. I mean, what am I gonna do?
we don't have to lock into 6 months, Tom. Let's just, until we get these, I don't even think the man,
Okay, 90 days. That's that good with you? So we get somebody going on this?
yeah, because I need the accounting thing definitely
Okay,
done.
I make a motion that we hire, Chip Bernardo, as, office manager and help us get this thing going for 90 days.
I'll
Office
second that.
manager,
Whatever it is, it's on, what, you hit, whoever speaks the public works.
Okay, I second it.
Okay.
All in
Chip,
favor?
are you interested in that for 90 days to get us going here?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it permanently.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye. Okay, that's over with for a while, but still, we'll, if you want to try to get an ad in the paper, and let's take some other applications for the future. Because we kinda gotta go with this.
Then we can definitely put it
We're gonna say
online.
we need to go with this, we gotta do something.
Right.
Alright, that's fine with me.
Do you want me to advertise it?
Well,
You still need to, if you're gonna have to get somebody.
we gotta
like
get
that.
somebody, I guess, after 90 days, or make a decision in 90 days.
Go ahead and start making applications and interviewing people.
Okay, that. what-
Do we want the applications put where? Are we gonna do some online and some written as well? And don't you think this is a good location to collect?
Yeah, I like everything to come out of this office.
the next
So
thing,
let's collect them here.
the next thing, we need to buy a mailbox. They have these
Ma'am, I'm on that.
lock box
I'm
at
I'm on it. I'm on it.
Home Depot. They are $93. You use a key to get in. They drop in whatever they have.
We could have the applications
I
there.
have Keith Bass is coming by here this morning,
Okay.
sometime between right around 11 o'clock. Told him I didn't know if he was gonna be here, but he's gonna eyeball the gate out here and see where we need to put a mailbox, because I told him I didn't wanna put it on Eagle Island Road.
Is it a lock box?
Because we're gonna have a lockbox. Wait
Can
till
we have
he's
blank
got-
applications there too? My question.
What?
Can we have blank applications there and they can stuff them in the
Sure,
mailbox?
we will. Anyway, my next question is, Danny has the Home Depot card. Do you have a Home Depot
No,
card?
Danny don't have the Home Depot.
Okay, can anybody
Yeah.
sign the Home Depot card?
The Home Depot card is at, I think it's at Williams, the accountant. There is another card there for the.
Can anybody go get it and use it? Because I want to go
I,
get this
my
mailbox.
name
I
is,
wanna
my
get it
name
up
is
and go.
on it, my name is on it, so I can get it.
Okay, if you
All
would like
that
to
need,
get,
all that need to be changed. The next thing as we talking
It's
about,
right here to change it.
all that need to be changed. The bank, I went to the bank yesterday, they have the papers ready to be signed. There is a safety deposit box there, which you need to call them and make arrangement for that to change. That's it.
so we all got to go sign again this
No,
year
you
or
can
what?
sign right here.
Oh, great. I know when I started, how many times did I go there? Three times,
Yeah,
four
they were
times?
very unorganized.
And who's
This is the lady.
Teresa.
Right, you call her because there's a safety deposit box there that needs to change.
What's in the safety deposit box?
I don't know, lots of papers.
Is it deeds or something? I mean,
I
don't know.
suggest nobody
Lots
go
of
alone.
papers.
It might be a good idea. Somebody to inventory what is in there, so you'll have a record of it.
Yeah,
Great idea.
Well,
Never
two
know, you
of us
might have a
need
big
to go.
check laying in there.
Yeah, three
Bars
cheeks
in
are
a
away,
way.
eh? One way. You're out of here. Anyway, two of us board members can't go because of the sunshine law. How do you recommend doing it?
What are you talking about,
To check the deposit box?
Have the office administrator go with one of us.
yeah, I don't know who's authorized to get in it. I mean, that's the first thing you gotta find out. But I don't
You
think.
gotta be.
It- right now,
You've been
it's,
here for 100 years.
I'm authorized to go in there, but,
Well, who
you
would
have to
know?
call her
You go
or
in
find
there
out
alone,
who has to go.
No, what they usually do is that, they will go ahead and, put you in a room.
Right there, so that one.
But I think you get to look alone,
That's true.
in case
But
you
if
have
want
stolen
back-
art or something, you know, that's how
If you
people
want
take
it back
that.
in Florida, they'll stay with you.
Oh, really?
But the only thing is, like I said, let's don't take anything out and put anything in, you just simply need to know what is in there right now. And, so you got a record of it.
Okay, we have to sign all that right now.
No, I'm just getting my part done. You guys can do it, and then somebody's gotta bring it in.
You might as well sign it right now.
No, I signed already yesterday, so
It's gotta be on the same form, Dorothy.
Huh?
It's gotta be on the same form, and I
That
really
was the
think,
problem last time, wasn't it? They didn't get, there was too many forms that I signed.
I think so. They didn't get you to sign all of the forms, that's why you had to go back. That was one of the reasons you had to go back.
next. And here's copies for us to keep. Anyways, while she's doing that, I'm sure we can move on to.
Ryan, I guess you're up, but I'd really like to pay attention to what's going on here, so. I'll sign it after the meeting. Okay, just gave me your form, I got the 124 on there. First started all this. Okay, sir, you're.
Well, first is the compliance issues. We met with the South Florida last Thursday. We only had about an hour of time with them, and we did get off on some other subjects. I'm still trying to compile everything. I asked them to send me some plans. They sent me the plans west of the Piedmont. I sent some more questions asking. When I saw those, and I see some things that it's supposed to be a typical cross section of a road. I didn't see it in the plans. There was also some other things that caught my eye. I sent an email to them asking some other questions, and for the plans east of the Piedmont. I got to have all that stuff to
Do it.
to come up with something. But we did discuss if we're going to move forward with this test site. They felt a section of land would be adequate. Wherever, that's kind of up to us. We did discuss that Canal A probably isn't the place to do it because of the drainage issue that we have with Canal A. But
Do you have a particular recommendation?
I do not currently, but when I get everything, I can pick that, or if you guys can pick it up. As long as it's probably along B, C, D, or E, any of the canals that should be, that drain as
Can
they
I
should.
just point out one thing? I was hoping that we were just gonna, as we came to the situation where a culvert needs to be dealt with, just come into compliance in that area. So I know Tom was really hoping, and we have it all on the wall over there, to get started on A this year. I don't know if you feel the lower half of B would be good to do, but it's been done before, and it's in pretty good shape other than the elevation of the banks. I think the size of it kind of kept shape, and so that might be one, although it's still, at least it has an outfall, but it's a very bad flooding area. So if we did B below 1 mile, that's, I'm pretty sure, all within one section. And
I do feel that that area has issues beyond this, Let's say we put in these structures everywhere, and it slows the water coming into that catchment area over there, or whatever we want to call it. Maybe some of those issues go away. I guess if we're moving forward and coming into compliance with the permit, only time will tell. But we already have an issue there, and I don't think putting in these pipes in that area where it's already water coming down, and I think backing into those areas, I don't think that would be the best place to do it,
Okay.
just because you already have those issues there.
So you wanna put it in a non-issue area to
No.
see if it creates issues,
I don't, that's
basically?
kind of what I'm getting at.
So the
And I
middle
don't-
of any canal would pretty much work.
Yeah, yeah, and we discussed with them, you know, how do we determine if we put them in and there are adverse impacts? Are we just gonna do it subjectively and look at it? Or they were willing to also, if we wanted to put in some staff gauges and stuff and monitor it for a year, so you got some data to look at, and then the next year come in, do things, and you can go through those rainy periods, and so you can kind
Right.
of compare, or.
Try to get apples to apples.
They said, you know, you could do it, but you know, it's just kind of how someone feels. You know, subjective.
Yeah,
And if we did that kind of thing, I think you need staff gauges and rank gauges, and you have to come up with a plan. And you talked about doing these things as we come to them.
well, you know, if we're gonna go and reshape A and make it deeper, we might not need this at all anywhere if you did that to all 5 canals. So if you don't need it at all anywhere, at that point, it's a lot cheaper to just re-permit. I mean, you're talking, you're shaking like, no, a permit costs $2,000 or whatever. That's nothing compared to $200,000.
Well, and I'm still waiting on some answers. When this was permitted, it is not the same rules that were today. And typically, if you come in and modify your permit, you have to come into compliance with the rules of today. That would create a real problem out here. Without even doing the modeling, I see a problem.
What are
But-
the new rules of today that they conflict with?
You have water quality.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
turbidity and.
Well, no, you have to, for the type of system we have, the first inch of rainfall has to be retained and released at a certain rate. It's, first half gone, and I gotta remember, just Swiftwood is, one of them's 60 hours, one of them's 24 hours. I think South Florida, first half inch, 24 hours, but I
Alright.
have to check that. They are different. So the water quality, and he, Jesse Markle, he was, because I asked that question, I said, water quality, you know, when does that, how do you guys look at it? And he said, well, typically, that's when he told me that you normally have to come into this. And then he said, but I'll do some questions. So at what point, I'm kind of, you know, how are they gonna handle that? That'd be the first issue. I would see that as an obstacle. And then secondly, if it, I'm using my engineering knowledge from all, you know, projects I've done. I'm not running a full model, but I'm looking at little things. Pipes with risers, I kind of look at the rate that they can put water into the canal, and then how that accumulates as you come down. How much our canals can flow, just kind of looking at a cross section. These are all kind of vague things, and then how much our outfall can discharge. If we open everything up, and we may have to restrict it on the end. If we get it all coming down, we may have to slow it up going out, because we're going to be limited there to our discharge rate. They said to what the permit says, but then I question a little bit of, you know, across the fence, there's pipes that I don't think can handle the flow
Pay
that
attention to what's going
we're
on.
permitted for. But perhaps it goes around those in an extreme event, and they, you know, we're gonna get into
I
a,
don't think, I've never believed that could possibly, until the water gets higher than that whole weir,
Mhm.
then it's gonna have an effect. But as long as there's a fall from the weir, it doesn't really matter what's downstream. It can flood that land, but it's not really holding back the weir water. You know what I'm saying? That's just.
yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as there's a difference and it's not backing, it's going somewhere.
Right,
It
that's
is.
what I'm saying.
But they're also gonna limit you at there's a rate, and I'm gonna get some opposition. I mean, and secondly, if it is restricted there, then people such as yourself, if it starts backing, it's gonna continue to back on you. I think the risers, they may not make everyone happy, but spreading the water around
It's better, and it's just to retain the water.
maybe the solution that
nobody wants to hear, but that's
Yeah.
why they put
I
it
mean,
in.
have you considered, you know what, yeah, I know pumps were discussed, expensive, but still, if I put a pump, let's say, south of your property, usually in a pump system, the water can get to the pump, and then it's the pump getting it out. I'd either have to have a really large pump, and then we'd have to store it and release it at this, prescribed, this, set rate. So we'd end up with, big pumps and plus this, a storage area that's extremely high, or we'd have to expand on it. Or in a citrus grove, for example, this is, although this is a subdivision, it's much like an agricultural development in its layout and it's, but, you know, a pump would remove 4 inches in 24 hours, 4 inches of rainfall. But if that rainfall all came down there and stacked, it would still continue to flood these areas south, not just here, anywhere on the south end. So, you know, the more I think about it, perhaps spreading it everywhere may be the
That's
best
what I've
for this
always
type of
thought.
system. I mean, if we were doing a new system from scratch, pumps are the only way, or huge lakes and filling like they do a modern subdivision.
One of the things I was asking you about was putting those specs together for ditches. So if we had more water retention throughout the whole prairie, everybody would benefit from that.
You do gain some of that. I didn't crunch the numbers during the meeting, but it was looked at. You're talking about like roadside swales, or you're talking about canals.
Oh.
It's still gonna be. It's not going to make a huge difference. There's so much more. We looked at that a little bit. It's a small piece. And then, you know, as they fill, if they don't get drained back down, you got capacity's kind of gone once filled.
Right.
I mean, you can get a little bit there at the beginning, but it kind of becomes negligible enough. You get the rainy season, people aren't happy.
Yeah.
It's
Animals aren't either.
well.
I just know that when all my ditches were clean and my canal was clean, I had a completely different drainage system. And now that they're filled with sediment and trees, and the one looks like a hayfield, it's a, you know, and I also noted the pipes made a big difference, and you weren't sure about that, but this year was the first year I didn't flood from the east. So I know it made a difference, but.
Going back on that, maybe the pipe and the other works that have been done in the other places have increased it coming down, and if we
I
can
know they
slow
have.
it down,
Yes, I know.
that may be a bigger issue than, because, I mean, what's south of you? I can't see a real, other than it's not connected. I don't think it never has been.
No.
But so there's from there to the outfall, I don't think anything really different than it was. So to me, that must seem it's coming in faster.
Yeah, I know it's coming in faster. A little bit slower leaving because the sediment and the trees, but anyways, that's enough said about that. What else do you have?
So, well, just, on that, I hope you have everything by next meeting, and then I think you all want me to pick the test area, or do you want me to say here, here, and here? You guys pick it.
Didn't you agree on, we thought it'd be better to go over on C, somewhere where, you don't wanna get over there where, on A or B.
We said not A for sure.
Right, you were
I thought we should.
C, or somewhere in the middle of the prairie to.
Well, originally I said B, C, D, or any of them, but C would probably. I mean,
C has really high areas that don't flood, and if you did that, you took a section. When you say a section, you do the entire section, 14 on both sides.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it would have as bad of effect, at least on C, even if we're wrong and we put something in that costs a lot of money that we don't want to use, it won't kill them. So that's a plus there, huge plus.
Whatever you decide on, you said something about C, I thought.
Well,
I changed mine by then.
A variety of things we need to look at, make sure we have, most things are in the right place, the correct easements to do whatever we need to do. But should I pick the location? Are we good with that, or I mean?
How about if you give us a couple options?
2 or 3 options?
That'd be great.
Would we
Are
be
you
able
good
to
with that,
go and
Tom?
see, would we be able to go look at the area before you do it? So
Sure.
we get an idea. Okay.
Are you good with that, Dorothy?
Okay, Tom, can I just ask a question before you close this discussion?
We're really waiting till, now on, we gotta stop this and go with
I know,
public
but
opinion.
this is-
It's not time for public commenting, so we need
So-
to, this is coming up after, comment from the public. After,
If you
we
Please
don't have
wait,
the
and we'll go from there.
superintendent here, so.
Nothing's etched in stone that can't be changed, so.
The other items, I don't know how you guys want me to continue to hit, just going down and hitting every item, or,
Pipes on the P line, are we gonna go ahead and get that out of the way, cause that's in compliance?
they were supposed to survey it yesterday. I don't have the data in front of me. If they have it, and they're good that I can to construct a riser that will, meet the permitted requirements, do you guys want me to go ahead and draw it and submit it to the pipe company for a bid, or what do you want to do?
Yes, we gotta do that, so that'd be one less thing that we
Okay.
can show
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
game
list
with
that
that.
we're done,
Okay.
what we're working on, because this other thing's gonna take, it could be 5 years down the line before that's over. That's a lot of money. Change out all these pipes, risers and all that.
Well, I think that's all they want is a plan, and I just wanna add real quick, they wanted a plan, this is kind of funny, in 60 days, if you look at that letter.
Yeah.
So since we haven't come up with a plan, and we're not likely to for a long time, because we're doing this test, and they're aware of it, but I asked them, I said, you know, you kinda, when you put it on paper, and they're actually being looked at by the government, how compliant are they? They would really appreciate a letter back from us, just acknowledging that, you know, we're doing something, we already took care of one thing, and we can have the office guy do it, you know.
We discussed that one yesterday, or Thursday, and they did say that, you know.
A
they're
letter
gonna
would be
give it
nice.
time. It's some- Yeah, they'll.
They said they knew we were showing good faith right now by meeting with them, and then when we had a plan, we could get them to it. They weren't very structured, but if we want to go ahead and submit and say this, and this on this, and working on that, like I said,
I think it
that's
buys them a little bit of, closed
fine.
liability.
That's why I was scanning my other things. So
And I did ask them if they wanted to go ahead and take over Coquina, and they said no.
No, I know. Believe me, many people have asked them that.
That's all the questions, like the county trying to take us over on the roads out here, ain't never gonna happen. Maybe never.
Canali and 4 Mile, that, as you see, the pipes in, head walls in, there, you know, it is seated there. I should have put this in a little different, I think we should go to that guardrail.
I'd like to get back to that, for everybody looking at what you did with that pipe there on 4 Mile, or the 4 Mile and E Canal?
Yeah.
With the concrete?
Yes.
Okay, that's completed, right? It's done?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion here that we go ahead and finish whatever it takes for Mark to just do it right there, because we've got a lot of it done. If you go look at the area and go ahead and do that crossing and be done with it. I know it's gonna be expensive, but
There's
we
one
haven't
section
Is that the
there
one?
that is collapsing, right down.
That's what I was about to get on to.
I was just gonna go ahead
Brian,
just do it, because we've already got that far with it.
Okay.
one section is collapsing on your left, all those,
When you're facing north?
yeah, with all those concrete
Mhm.
things are falling out. So that has to be done, that's a big job.
Okay, well, that's all part of it. Now, this one corner is done. You know, originally when I drew it up, are we gonna narrow this on the other corners or?
Tell him, you don't wanna do it now, it's gonna someday have to be done.
I wanna get that crossing done right there, okay? And then
Well,
we'll
what
look
he's
at our
asking
stuff.
is, do you wanna do the whole thing its entirety, or do you wanna postpone some of it to save money now? If we set it all right now, we're done with it. I like the idea of being done with something that's held solid, it's just,
Okay, you're talking about doing this at all four corners?
I am.
Well, we don't even have, we don't have a regular, what do we got, 10-foot easement
What's that?
on that each side there. All that was to go across for a 10-foot easement on that,
Well,
for the canal.
There should be 18 feet, roughly 18 feet. Probably 15 to 18 here.
Well, we filled in a bunch just to get around the corner there where your bottom picture is.
Right, so that little side is fine, but there's 3 other sides. And one of my concerns is, did you figure out if the pipe he just put in, stacked in concrete, is that gonna fly with South Florida Water Management?
What I went with is, if we're just putting a riser on it, it'll be, if a
We can put a riser.
put a riser, is it that we can live with
Fit
the
too.
18 inch.
Okay.
The only thing, you know, we, banding these metal risers to pipes, I haven't done that. All I can tell you is I've been told it can be done.
I know,
So, but I don't have experience how difficult does it.
I
That,
know.
that's the only reservation I would
Well,
have.
we can just make it Mark's problem and not worry about it.
Well, I do.
But, we don't know yet if we even need to do it. But it'd be so much easier to do it right the very first time. So if we could check on that. I mean, you're still in debate with them about it, or what?
Well, that kind of where we're headed. I mean, I guess there is a little bit of a question
I know.
on what, because
He didn't seem to really know, so he's gotta look it up or something.
and I don't have I didn't remember. I mentioned that in the meeting the other day, but it wasn't pinned down.
I don't think he had an answer, because you asked him when I was here and he didn't really have an answer. Just sidestepped.
Like I said, I have plenty more questions. I think each time I get more. But like I said,
So back to Tom, did you wanna finish it, or just leave it
Yes.
kinda open? You'd like to do all 3 other quarters.
Let's just get that corner done and be done with it, put it, and it's over with, and concentrate on our non-compliant stuff after that.
Okay, do you remember we talked about we should have this for open bidding, and it's like, if we can prove that Mark's doing it the cheapest and we never, or the best or whatever, if we continue to use him, from here on out, we'll just order one up, but give the public an opportunity. We said that, so Brian spent a lot of time preparing a document for open bidding. Do you not want to use that? Are you changing your mind on that?
Whatever, I just would like to get that corner done, so that thing done.
Okay, that kind of throws that work away, sorry.
I don't have any questions. That's where we're.
You didn't really know how you weren't very sure of all that anyway.
Well, that's what I was about to go. If we're doing that, then who's doing these pipes? And then we have all the fill to get in there. I assume that would be us.
Yeah, we should definitely do the bill.
Where are we drawing lines? And then I also, like I said, this thing needed to be cleaned off so I could see. When I went there, I didn't know if there's a lot of grass, dirt. I'm usually not one to be bothered, but cotton mouth right across my foot while I'm there, you know. So I got a little
Lovely.
bark solid.
My favorite snake.
So this is that 4-mile?
What was the name of that dance he did?
So I didn't stomp around. I didn't stomp around it too much. Yeah. But I just can't see. There's a lot of up and down, and then
Right.
when I wrote that bid, I said.
Well, you can always alter that to the next one if we decide we want to do bidding again, right? It wouldn't be too
I
hard.
mean, and some of this was even the quotes I had, all the insurance and all that. That was some stuff I had. So
All right.
it was the upfront part, trying to explain it all.
All right. Well, there's only like 22 of them to do, and we've already done 5. This will be 6. So, I mean, we could do a couple of years, even at the price it is. Some people in the neighborhood are saying it's overkill. It's one of the reasons I wanted to
Part of the
break it
deal
down
is,
to show
when I
people
went
how
to
much is
sign the
involved.
check for Mark, okay, there wasn't any great detail there. All he had down there was 214 bags of concrete and 23, whatever it was, $2,300 or something, and that's it. So it's $11 a bag is what he charges.
It had details, it said it was in the,
Well, it
it
wasn't on the
said
big
what mile, what
canal
canal,
on.
and then it also said in the, what would that be, the
See, there was more
southwest
to it.
corner. So it was all detailed.
Okay, so
I got
we
it.
have online a new list of details. If there's anything short, I mean, we're happy to help you get it, but it'll show people. People have said to me, that's way too much money. when I first saw it, I honestly thought, oh my gosh, that costs a lot more. But I didn't know that we're ripping these things out, compacting. Now that I know what's involved,
There's a lot of work in that.
yeah, and there's a lot of material too. And so when it comes down to it, I thought the bidding could at least show the public, hey, this is what's happening here.
Well, there's a lot of those things, some of them, which the ones that I've looked at, that y'all may do next are gonna be up.
More money maybe, and maybe some
Well, I
less.
think, the way we deal, it looks like they're gonna be more work and less concrete.
Oh,
Some of them not looking, unless we just, threw up in a mess and have to tear some stuff out.
all right, well, if we
When
can
we
just
started
really
this, we went
adhere,
with the worst ones, I believe, first.
well, by height they
Dan
were,
went and looked at them or
No.
something.
by height only.
The worst ones as
Just pick
far as
out
washout,
5.
not the worst ones as
I
far
know
as.
that.
What's that?
It was 5, and then 3.
Yeah, there were 5.
Yeah, so
I
they
couldn't
didn't
really
check
tell you
and
what the
see the
selection
worst
process was. What was I myself?
Okay, so you want to go ahead and,
Yeah, I'm okay with finishing that one. I think, Mark, if you get really detailed and we can help you with details on the invoice, we're gonna start putting these invoices online so people can look and see exactly what you did. If they have a beef with it, if they think they can come in cheaper, they can approach us, and that's good enough for me.
Well, too, if you got, say, 4 Mile and E Canal, 4 Mile E Canal, so many bags compacted on the,
Yeah, but you know what, that
South
material
side.
you use is a pain in the butt to put in.
also y'all.
I didn't know you used rebar. I didn't know all this stuff that he's listing in there.
all the
And
felt
I've bought
the-
rebar, it's not cheap, and people don't know that, and they think, oh, look, he bolted this to this and walked away and got, what? And it's not the way it was, and that's my whole point is, we need to talk about 5 layers were added, each one was compacted 5 times.
okay.
That material I've tried to buy for my landscaping, it's wicked expensive, I don't know what you paid for it, but if you start charging out individually and showing on your invoice what you're doing, people aren't gonna, and if they think they can do better, they can approach us and say, hey, I can do better than him on the next one, maybe we can consider it.
Right.
So anyways, yes, Tom, finish it up,
Go ahead, you want.
are you okay with that? All right.
Miles, do you want to make a motion to do that?
I make a motion to finish this.
All 4 corners.
At 4 Mile and E Canal.
I think I've said it before, and we need to try to, the first one, when we start backfilling, when Coquina starts backfilling, we need to try to tighten this material up, since we're trying to slow it
Compacting
and
it.
stuff. And if it, I need to kind of let's do one and see, gotta get something, get this material to hold there.
Got it on the corner?
Yeah, and filling that in, building that
That
out.
one was,
It was loose, it's looking a little better now.
it rains more than the whole corner looks like, still good.
It could, I'm hoping this Roger.
So you haven't compacted in the past for each layer?
No. We have one like Marcus done, but where they're building the canal out, they were supposed to track that in with equipment. I was told it was done. If that's what was done, I don't think it was sufficient. So I think we should run some kind of compactor on that, whether it's a small roller or a plate compactor.
Can you adhere to our engineer's requirements while you do this?
This is Mark.
No, that's
Oh,
not
okay.
to do with me, but you can't track that in. You get that there, that close or the loader or something,
It'll fall in.
that's the problem.
It's gonna slide right down. Unless, like they were saying, you overbuild it and then cut it back. And then,
I don't know, they can start the haul.
Everything out there, it's a bit of a mess. and
Neglected and everything.
Well, I got thinking when I started doing some calculations on the canal flow and stuff. I don't think it'll be a problem here, but others, if we narrowed up
it
at
really,
it, and then if the canal's getting shallower, the velocities may want to cut this back.
Mhm.
I don't think it'll be an issue here, but it's kind of a bit of a guess right now without modeling it, trying to figure, but it's something we'll have to watch here. On the downstream,
I wouldn't think
It's
that'd
probably
be.
better to rock it, because you got those pipes coming in from the side, and the flows, you may get some swirling and stuff on the downside. On the upside, I was originally saying, not necessary, but
You'd rather have rock than cement, you're saying.
I think it would be cheaper.
And we're still asking Mark to do this. Do you want to work with
Now, when I
rock?
say rock, I'm referring to some of this bank back here, not this stuff. No, this
Oh.
bank down here.
Okay, I thought you meant right up, only immediately by
No,
the.
this is fine, concrete, that it's not gonna, but where this canal narrows and shallows, the velocities are, because that water's coming up and
Mhm.
going in the shallow, it's gonna increase, because we're on the top end, I don't think there'll be enough water coming down. Don't think it'll be an issue here, but something to keep
Okay.
in mind that if we work south. For this one,
So anytime we dig a canal to 12 feet, it only makes sense to start at the south end and head north for the safety of the bank and everything, really. Because if you made that much velocity coming from the north and didn't finish, you'd get into that exact problem.
it's only gonna be right at each structure.
Okay. How many feet down do you think you'd have to go
What's the question?
from the structure itself? Are you gonna
How
extend?
how
How far would you rock?
Where,
I
where,
guess.
where it's shallowed up. Now, I showed her 100 foot on the current plans that are done. I think I showed 100 foot from staying back to these structures.
Oh, okay, that's not very far.
Well, it starts adding up whenever you're putting rock down.
Yeah. It really starts adding up when you have to redo the whole thing too.
But like I said, for this one, I'm willing to. I think it will.
Okay.
If this can get stabilized, I think it will be okay. I don't think they'll lost it. But if we do one further down, we may be rocking both sides.
Okay, so Mrs. Miles, you made a motion to go ahead and finish that? You want a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's finish there.
Some of these are orders we'll run through them. Mark, you finished mowing the top of Canale, so that's done. If we're gonna move in and mow the banks, now's the time to do it.
Is our mower fixed, Tom? Do you know?
It was fixed, because,
Fred, can we do that?
I think Fred's on it today, I'm not real sure. Wade had to go to a doctor's appointment.
He's on the P line.
Right.
I'm not out here all the time, but someone should keep an eye.
Okay, so you're suggesting we get him over there Monday morning?
Sooner. I mean, if we're gonna do it, if we're not, it's gonna be grown up before you know it. Before you
And
circle
that's
back.
one of the reasons we're doing it.
I'll call Wade in the morning or later on today and tell him to have Fred there in the morning. Start on that.
Urge them to not scalp the ground, or we're gonna end up with more problems.
Scalp.
Yes.
Okay.
Be back to square one.
Unless you wanna call, Wade and tell him, it's up to you.
No, I think it's better coming from the board members to make financial decisions.
So then, after that's done, we can go back and consider these erosion issues that we have on there. We can see what's there, see what it'll take to fix it, and the culvert repair that can kind of work into our South Florida deal, unless there's one that's clogged that's causing a problem, then we probably should address it now. But,
So we're waiting for the flat gate to get stabilized around it.
like the permit's done for up there in section 10.
Sorry, I thought that's.
Yeah, the flat gate it's installed. You guys saw the picture. Originally, when that pipe was put in, there was some concrete and stuff to keep it from eroding there. That was pulled back because of the flat gate and stuff. They want to put that back. It may erode. I'll be right up front. when we started all that up there, we got into that, having the turbidity issues, we put that pipe in. That is not a permitted pipe, but South Florida is well aware of it. It was put in to hold it back because we were gonna get into a violation. You know, perhaps that needs to work into our process, but I mean, it was put there and they've been good with it, but.
Yeah, well, let's, next time we submit some permitting, somehow work it in, if we alter anything, make sure it's part of the package.
Right, but
Okay.
I don't know if you guys want to stabilize around it. It's been an issue, it's been a question before by downstream Mayor Bassis of sediment coming onto them from us.
Is it likely to wash out the way it sits right now around it and actually be the cause of turbidity?
Cause of turbidity?
No.
Probably not.
Wash out?
Well, it could, if that pipe at some point goes just clear up, we open that up, it will probably, it's gonna create a valley there. Will it carry all the way down to the structure? Possibly.
Well, just to keep it in place, if we need to add, then that's something we
Well,
should do. I don't.
if we're gonna do it, let's do it, because I'd sure like to put an end to that. That has been
Over a year, I think.
forever. And that way you can get it off the books there for South
I
Florida.
think
can
rock
sign
might be a
off
good
on it.
answer there. You could throw it right on top of, you wouldn't
You
even
wanna
have
lay
to.
a little fabric down and, it doesn't knock your rocks keep going down on the ground.
Oh, okay.
That's like a little fabric, maybe put a little dirt on top to protect it, dropping rocks on it.
Is that something you think we can get Wade to do?
We can do that ourselves. I mean, yeah. As long as when Danny gets back, we'll discuss it with him.
This is the one item that, and Tom, you know, I had some discussion on this 264. It's something that came up from Danny. If there's some protocol I need to follow
Well,
regarding
First
an
of
item
all,
like
I
that.
don't remember it coming up in front of the board. And whenever Danny gets back, we'll just tell him from now on, you know, if somebody calls you, you know, we need to go through the board first before they call you. Because first of all, this road has been that way since this place has started. We're not gonna sit here and put a road in
So somebody can sell land.
so they can sell their land. They bought it the way it is, and I say I'm against that 100%.
Me too, and I wish you wouldn't have even wasted time on it. I
So
don't
that's
think he
a no.
should have asked you about road things like that. Just telling you
And
you
that
gotta
drainage
get an okay
pipe,
from
which
us
is, that
first.
you found on the way, that
Right.
thing looks like it's been there for at least 10 years. With the rust and the way it's
But if
been there
it's not-
exposed, well, that's okay.
If
So
it's not permitted, then it's kind of
why
opening
would
an
we,
issue
if
that,
it's already, it hasn't been an issue in 10 years, why are we dealing with it now, is all I'm saying. If we could do something a little different, is it really necessary?
I saw it along the way.
Right.
You know, those roads there, they dead end. They
Right,
don't drain to
right.
the canal. I don't know until I have the set of plans in mind. Wouldn't be surprised if the plans don't show it going all the way to the canal.
Okay.
So there, if you don't, there is no outfall unless you let the
What
water.
I'm saying is this thing's been working forever.
Or not
Whether it's
working
still or
forever.
not working, or
Whatever it's
that thing's
doing.
been exposed for at least 10 years, looks like to me.
Oh, that's been seen there a while. But there's no doubt. I saw it.
Right,
It
but I
looks
don't
like a failed pipe or a failing pipe. So.
if it becomes
well, if it's
an
not even
issue-
something that's permitted, if it becomes a thing that we realize we need to put in later, I think we should pull a permit on it and then do it. But right now, if it's not even permitted, let's ignore it.
I'm with you.
Yes.
We've got all this non-compliance stuff is just gonna eat everything we got and what we don't have for the next couple of years up to come in compliance with. So we can save, there's no sense in doing something we don't have to do it.
Yeah, this is section 10, that's up there, 308, 310, east of Canal C. When Danny gets back, I need to figure out what's been done in there. I can tell he went in there and straightened it. There's not a real issue there, but it just needs to be, it's one of these ones that needs to be finished up and done. I don't know that he's finished, didn't appear to be seated, and maybe Wade knows, I would have to, it's alright, I'll call Wade and ask him. You just need to finish it up and.
I agree, you're done with it.
They did put in the pipes at Canal C, and then they talked about doing them at D. I told them to hold on D because I got one thing that came up, there's a 24-inch pipe there. So here we go with a pipe sizing issue. And then I know that 2 18-inch pipes come from the park feeding that, so.
You almost wanna put a 36, but then you've got
Well,
that permit issue.
24 is probably adequate, but that's even outside, that's a permit issue too. So, and then if we do narrow these things up, things may shift, so leave it be for now, until we figure everything out.
Yeah,
It's
and
not a
are
real
the two
issue.
from the park positively permitted and supposed to be there? Some of those up there I know were being looked at.
That's my knowledge.
Okay.
I believe those two are. I do think there's more pipes under the road up there than what I've seen. And then figuring out which ones, I'm not sure if there's a map that I've seen. I know I've read
Yeah, the description is announced.
And it says 7 pipes, and then I think they added 2 more. And then certain elevations, but I don't know if I've ever seen a map that says where they. While I was out here and I went to check the flat data, I rode down to Ashwood to just look. Once again, I didn't survey anything or check any elevations, but they're chewing those slopes up again with the.
Well, you know, we're just gonna keep on doing it and doing it and doing it, and until we fence that area off, so these 4-wheelers are not gonna tear it up, we're gonna be doing this didn't we just do this 6 months ago? We had, Mr. Kiner went back there with and fixed it all, I forget what it cost us, but it's already tore up, and they can tear it up in a week.
Yeah, as we approach the rainy season, I'd go in there and dress things up. But if you do it now, you'll be doing it again. So it's no harm until no danger until we have some water in there. But
Later, right?
yeah,
But it is a thought, food for thought, of possibly trying to fence some of this stuff off, because, you know, every weekend, these 4-wheelers come out here and just terrorize the place. They live in our roads and canals and everything else they can get their hands on.
Yeah, if they can't tear it up, they're not having fun.
But anyway, it's something to think about. Thank you.
And then we kind of touched on the guardrail. And the only other thing, Tom, on the way here, and we kind of touched on it. It came up in our meeting, Canal A. Are we wanting to open any kind of discussion on looking at that south end of Canal A? Are we wanting to
What, to
out
put the, what are you talking about?
Canal A? You know,
To put the guardrails on?
no. Well, we kind of
Just a basic cleaning or depthening or,
I just made a note down here. It's not on here. It was a thought on the way here. You know, we talked about getting some kind of path.
Until we get, I really believe that if we're wasting our time and money on all this, until you can keep these 4-wheelers off. I'm telling you right now, they terrorized up and down that canal so much this last weekend, it ain't even fun.
can I ask you, Tom, you talk about fencing it off. Are you planning on trying to fence the whole border of the canal or just gate each?
People can walk in there, they can have a good time, they can go fishing, they can ride a horse in there, but to keep all vehicles out, because otherwise, it won't take them long to destroy anything we do. And we're talking, gonna be over $2 million by the time we're through with all this work.
So how about
And
just fencing
so
out
what-
the entrance to
You
the,
just have a pipe gate, and anybody gets caught in there, just take their vehicle, and that's it. They pay a steep fine.
I
They're
think
not
maybe
supposed to
just
be
gates and posting because
Yeah.
I don't know, can you really fence somebody off their own land?
It's not their land. We have the right of way there.
It's only an easement for us to use for drainage
Well, each
and we
person-
get to go there. I mean, we have ingress and egress to go there.
each person owns the middle of the
The
canal.
canal, yeah.
I
So
own 2 feet
we
on the
don't
other side of the
take
canal, and there's 40 feet,
And Canal
or
A,
42 feet. Sorry.
Canal A, from my understanding by the last survey, is in the wrong place. That's what you said?
There was additional easements taken into account though, because it wasn't placed within the original 80 feet.
I believe Coquina owns all the right of way, the easements and all that stuff, because they took it from me, and I still pay taxes on it, and I, can't do anything with it, it's theirs, so.
No,
I know the easement on the edge of my property is on my deed. And it is an easement for access by Coquina or the public to get down. It's still letting us put something by Coquina when I first moved in.
Well, it's the same thing I got, and,
Yeah.
until we get this
I
issue
technically
straightened,
own the
so.
property on my deed.
I'm paying taxes, I got the same thing, but Mr. Byers, what happened there 10 years ago, 95 or whenever, when you redid everything and took more property back? Do you have any input on this?
In 95,
I thought it was 95 when it was revised on these canals.
those canals are just, the easements on those canals, the same as on the roads. The public is allowed to ride up down those steel banks if they stay
Well,
in 40 feet or 80 feet. Easement. You cannot fence them out.
Then there's no sense in, might as well just clean them out and let them have at it.
Well, I got
In the dry season, they can get down there in buggies and just tear up, go right on down through there. They haven't done it yet this year.
well, I was just asking about that
Right,
southern part
okay.
of the canal area.
That's fine,
But
go
we
on.
can have more.
Go on.
I'm done.
They don't want to
That's all.
All right, does anybody have any comment on this right here? Charlie?
I wanted to know what's the picture of Brigham Young.
That's, you see those ruts and stuff?
Yeah.
That's down there by Ashley where it's hard to get a picture to
Oh,
show
I
it.
gotcha.
So they're chewing that, levee up.
I'll come
Yeah,
on
see
there.
You can hardly get a picture to show
If
it.
that's the case, I'll let them have that fenced off this week. Okay.
Republic?
Are we there already?
Yes.
Okay, somebody want to read the list? You have any questions, Tony, about any of this? Look, what legality needs you to go ahead and fence that off? I mean,
You talking about the catchment area down here?
No.
yeah, that's, owns all that. Absolutely, because 235
I'd have to take a look at it and see what in there is, considered public right of way and what isn't. But you're talking about fencing just the area that goes all the way to the,
right, we have the road, I've got drinks here.
Are you referring to the whole blue area, the whole catchment?
Yeah, just try to do something.
Ash and Horse Lane,
That's
basically.
right, it's 235 acres plus.
right. Let me look at it. I'll have, like I said,
We gotta start doing something to preserve that area anyway. And I was surprised that the environmental protection people haven't suggested something, because otherwise it's just gonna be tore up like the Northwest Farm. And Northwest Farm is privately owned by individual landowners and landowners. Down there, Coquina does own it. And otherwise, we're gonna continue to have problems down there.
like I said, let me take a look at it, but I'm not that familiar with what is and what isn't.
Okay,
Public
so,
right of way.
all right.
Is that like up from the top of the high dike before you look down into everything, like that valley down here? Is that what we're actually talking about?
Down here?
Yeah, no, back off to the club. Is that where that blue area really is?
Yes, sir.
I wanna get going on this, because, excuse me, sir. You can discuss that when it comes up, okay, because we're gonna try to keep this orderly and we wanna get out of here. Tony, you read,
Barbara Slack.
Zach, did you sign that? Is everybody?
I'll wait for you.
Can somebody just read the?
Would you call for the public to be heard?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, you're up.
Mr. Ross, I have a question for Brian. All this discussion over whether we're going to do testing on the A canal, which is what Carlin wants, because her property's there. And now you want to change it from the A canal over to another canal. And the remark was made by Carlin that if that transfers the water out on that side, oh well. Is that going to transfer the water to another area that doesn't have a water problem now? You're testing?
Making problems.
It's a test, that's what a test
Well,
does.
yeah, but if a test is making a problem where you don't have a problem, you can't do that.
It's not our
Whatever the
transfer.
engineer decides to do, Barbara, that's all I
Well, wait
can tell
here.
you.
Tom, wait a minute, I want to hear from Brian about this technicality.
Pass me that again.
What? As far as the transfers, makes me think from over there to over there, but we know that's not the case. But putting these risers in, that, I've been told they work with it originally, at least in certain areas, and that's what is permitted. How it became what it is today, that's a bit of a question.
The water runs naturally from north to south. It goes from the top of the Viking to where it exits at the south end of the Viking. If you're going to drop water to dry off some area where it wants to naturally run, and it's going to push it out into areas where it doesn't stay,
Change the
restrict.
road.
Are you putting properties in area, in a position where they're now going to be with water issues that they didn't have before?
Thank you.
Potentially.
Okay,
I don't like it.
John, can't do that.
Okay, well, you can do my canal, because it'll help me, I know.
That's another problem, because you're in here for self-interest, and all you really want is going down.
You hear yourself, Mrs. Slack.
Yes, I do, I hear
I
myself
sure
in
hope
my
so,
sleep.
because
Okay.
Okay, so
we're done.
we
We're
can't come
I have
into
another question.
compliance,
I
is
have
that
another
your,
question.
is that what you're saying? We're not allowed to come into compliance?
I didn't say anything about coming down.
Well, that's all we're trying to do is get back to compliance, but we wanna make sure before we
How is
go
getting
there.
back into compliance flooding or making water problems on places that don't have water problems?
That's
Bringing
what
us
we
into
wanna
compliance?
prove. If
You
it makes
prove
a
it at the
problem.
Carlene and Barbara,
That's
we
it.
need
Case
some
is over
order
with.
here.
We've made our,
Okay,
whatever the
you
engineer
want
comes
your
up
comment,
with.
go ahead, you got
All
the
right, that's it,
minutes.
done.
Carlene, what she's saying is there's a conflict of interest. We know about it. She wants her place fixed. She's in the prairie. We need to control certain things.
Fine. I wanted to clarify what was going to happen to other properties with the engineer. I'm not the one that got going with that.
Okay.
All right, I have another question. Domingo said he
Got
didn't
one
want the
more
job of webmaster.
She gets 5 minutes. You clocking her?
Well, take me off when somebody's talking over me, then you gotta give me back my.
I don't
You got
think so,
5
man. You
minutes.
got the floor right now, so I
Domingo said
suggest
he
you got
didn't
1
want
minute
to be the
left.
webmaster, so why are we pushing Domingo to be the webmaster?
He's offered to do the job, he set everything up.
He said he didn't want the job, you just went and nominated him, and he said he still didn't want the job permanently, so
I
why?
changed my mind, I want the job.
There you go, that's what we wanted to know, that's what we wanted to know.
Okay, that's closed. Can we go to the next person, please?
Okay, so you're not gonna let me finish asking my question?
Ma'am, you got 30 seconds left. You got something else?
Yeah, I'd like you to do something about your rudeness, you're the president here, and you're not setting a good example.
Ma'am, we're trying to
That
catch
was my
up
30
with
seconds.
feeding here and go on with this.
Okay, too much
And
time.
I'm not gonna argue with you, and you really need to hear
Randy
yourself.
Henderson,
Who?
Randy Henderson, is he still here? Next. Boyd.
Yes, I'm gonna ask a question, Mr. Young. The homeowner has an easement that we really can't use anyways. You with me? It's not, we own it and pay taxes on it. And my question is to you, could I deed my easement to Coquina?
Well, that would strictly be up to you.
I mean, I could do that.
There could be an easement on your property, doesn't mean you can't use it for certain things. It's just that whatever use you do can't interfere with the purpose of that easement.
Okay, because I mean, last year, or year before last, there was a fence that was supposedly on my property, but I had to remove it in order to get a culvert put in, a new one, you know, which I'm gracious to the board for putting it in for me, because it replaced the culvert that was there. But my point is, I had to move that fence back to where the, past the easement, or 30 feet from the center of the road. And my point is, why not we just go ahead and deed that over to Coquina? We can't really use it anyway, so let Coquina decide what's best for it.
Well, like I said, you can do that. The thing is, Coquina has to operate within the boundaries of whatever easement they have. Now, are you
Right.
saying that whatever they did exceeded the boundary of the easement?
No, they were well within the boundaries of the easement.
They are, you said.
Yes, they are. But my point is, I mean, we can't do anything with the property anyways, because we can't use it for anything other than there's just a space between, you know, just.
Now you can't block it off. like
Yeah, you can't block it off, but you really can't do anything with
How
it.
much land are you talking about?
Well, you know, right now, we're looking at,
30 feet by 165?
yeah, 3 times that, basically. You know, so, I mean, that's quite a bit of property. I really can't do anything with it.
Yeah.
My point is, if I, as a landowner, it looked to me like it would be more reasonable to deed it over to Coquina and let them make the decision what to do with it, you know, to help them out, because obviously, out here, everybody.
You're very kind.
Well, you can't fence it off.
I mean, you can't do anything with it.
No, I understand what you're saying.
And I'm just saying, wouldn't it be better if I just, as a landowner, deeded it? Here's the question: would it be better for me as a landowner to deed it to Coquina?
Well, I really can't answer that because I'm not sure, you know, what effect it would have, but I assume it's a 1 1/4 acre lot.
Yeah, 3 of them.
3 of them?
Count George's. Me and George, we all line up together, so we actually have.
You won't get a tax reduction if that's what you're
No,
after.
in fact, let me say this, I'd be willing to pay more taxes if I could get a little bit more done out of it. Really,
Yeah.
you know,
That would be a decision you'd have to make, but you could do it.
okay, all right, thank you.
Nick, George McMillan.
Nah, yeah, go to the next person.
Okay. Patricia Petticord.
Yes, I have a question. As far as the application process for the jobs, the criteria was set by who? Mr. Domingo, who now admittedly wants the job. And you have to go to an unofficial website to apply for a job.
No, we never set that up. You didn't want us to, so we said we'd take applications here.
Well, you just contradicted yourself because not more than, 30 minutes ago or so, you were saying that you were supposed to go to the website and you're not supposed to.
No, I didn't contradict myself. You didn't understand. You made it clear that your husband would not go on the
Well, he's not
website.
gonna apply
So
for a
we
job.
made it
He
clear that we were
he
going
won't-
to accept applications here. My problem with
But
that
my
is how
point
much
is,
opportunity
how
is
is
there.
it advertised and how is it, why is it even necessary that somebody speaking half a dozen languages as
It's
an
not.
application process? That's gonna just weed out people. First of all, it's not, I said he would have volunteered to take care of it. So if you turned it from a volunteer position to a paid position. Now, in order to be able to give people a fair opportunity to apply, you made it, we need somebody right away, and it almost appears that you try to funnel this position to hire Chip. That's what it looks like. So
Because
that
you're
really
you're
isn't
also
fair.
saying that webmaster's the only thing we hired. That's like 1/5 of the duties. I need a treasurer, which was part of what he put in there. I also said we can take out the Portuguese stuff. We can take that out.
It's ridiculous.
We asked him to make a template of things that he knows we need. So he did that. Nobody's ever spoke about it until this moment, whether we want it or not.
Well, my point is, it's not properly advertised, and the job is notably slighted to kind of funnel the position over to Chip, who just admitted that he wants this job. So it appears to me
This
that y'all.
temporary
We just done it for 90 days. If somebody wants to apply after that and get it going and learn and
We're
come in
still
and do
gonna,
what we're doing,
accept applications
fine.
for the jobs.
we're still
It may
accepting.
turn into 2 or 3. We might have one webmaster, we may have one person sit in the office. I don't know, we've gotta fix all that stuff and figure it all out.
Where's this money coming from to pay all these new positions?
The budget,
So anyway, back to like the website. What with the website that's informational only, that just needs to have things uploaded month to month. That my husband would have volunteered to do. So
Okay, well, thank you.
you're welcome. And next question, as far as the easements go, I think that Tom has a fantastic idea, because it's ridiculous to let the four-wheelers continue to destroy our property. Maybe the board can contact the homeowners on the entrances of the canals and maybe get their permission to put the fence up.
I thank you for coming.
I ain't gonna vote.
We gotta start conserving our money somewhere. If we're gonna blow it on these canals, it only takes one weekend for them to come in there and tear it up, and there's absolutely nobody to run them out of here.
Right, so
Because it's,
the owners of
I don't think that's public accessible property, is it? Did we ever figure that out? Brian back there, Holden? Did we ever figure out whether or not you had public access to run people off the canal?
If it's deemed a public access, that the laws could apply. Now, the question on an access is that it probably needs to fall in the attorney's hands is, what's Coquina Water District's exposure to that? What's the language on the easement as far as, are y'all have an easement, but what's your responsibilities on that easement? You just can't treat it any way you want. You need to maintain the easement so that you can maintain the canals. So it's just something that probably the attorney dig into and research.
Right.
If y'all have exposure.
You're concerned primarily with the canals, right?
Yes, the canals and our through roads also are tearing up, and they have permission to go on our through roads because it's public access now. But it's the same way on the canals. I'm trying to find out whether or not we can run them off, sitting there tearing our canal banks up. You can go in there and arrest them or fine them or something. Otherwise, we need to see about fencing it off.
If y'all have exposure, I don't know why y'all don't have authority over it. It's reckless if you don't.
it's kind of gray area, we don't know.
That's what an attorney.
Yeah, I think basically what you're looking at here is whenever the problem you're having, does it interfere with the use of the easement, of the canal in this case.
Is there anything on the back?
But let me check in on that, see. Just for you to say it.
Melvin?
I want to answer his question. Now, we've fought this easement versus tax deal for years. We have brought people from the property appraiser's office to these meetings. They assure us, say you got acre and quarter. They can figure out how much easement take that easement takes up that acre and quarter and credit you back on taxes. You don't pay the full tax.
That's just you.
Well, I'm not really concerned about the money part of it.
Well, that don't matter. You have to, other people are.
Okay.
And this old deal, when I pay taxes, well, you need to check, but I don't think you do. You get a credit back. Say you say acre and quarter.
Right.
That's my understanding now.
Okay.
You may want to check further into that.
Okay.
That was my situation, I checked and I did see a credit.
You get a credit, right, so that's,
Well, that's what that
so,
was.
don't cry.
I'm still allowed to use it like normal, but
No, I ain't trying. I just, my thing, here's my
Grass
thing.
road
With
or
the fencing,
access road?
with the,
Right on the canal.
You get a credit on the canal?
with the fencing issue here, my point is, if the landowner's gonna continue to own the easement, then Coquita's hands are really bound to what they can do with it. But if I was a landowner, I'd take and deed it to them. Then Coquina owns it, and they can do with it as they wish. And that's my take on all this, and that's where the attorney's going right now with the public use records. I mean, we need to define how that's gonna work, so we know exactly what kind of guidelines we can set up. I'm willing to deed my property to Coquina, can only better Coquina, okay, but if I can't cry.
We don't have minutes to back it, so we have to make a motion on it.
Give him back his minutes. You're not
Well, I
listening
mean,
to
sorry, I mean, I'm just,
Alright, I've heard a couple of y'all say somebody mentioned like a $2,000 permit to Southwest Water Management. When do we start paying Southwest Water Management for permits?
It's just, there's $100.
Charlie said 2,000.
I just threw a number out there, Melvin. I'm sorry I used the wrong one. I don't know. I saw a payment stem for $2,500. I don't know why that was made.
Why did we pay them 2,500?
I don't know. I don't know why we paid them $2,500. I think we're done.
No, there's 3 people.
Okay,
Are you through, Melvin?
no, I got 2 or 3 things there now.
Okay, your name's on the list, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Go
Uh,
ahead.
Alright, now y'all set, in the last 3 or 4 months, y'all have set a concrete hiring policy. Now, Cardi wants that person on board before the end of the week. But y'all's policy is drug test, background test, physical, the whole shoot match.
I didn't know that was concrete.
No, I thought there was temporary help. You didn't have to worry about all that. And that's exactly what Mr. Miles said, so.
No, temporary help does have to have
Yes.
background.
So are we throwing all this out to this
Can't
now?
put anything there.
Well, if he wants to go, I don't see a problem.
Y'all gonna have all that done by Friday.
Yep.
We gotta do something.
Well, it's dangerous when you go against your own policy and somebody else applies for the job, they get it, they may have legal recourse
Right here.
to,
Well, none of it was actually followed all the way through on it.
Alright, I'm not through here yet. I don't care who
Which
gets it.
What I just handed you.
Okay.
This?
Yes.
Yes, sir, Mr. Byers.
If I got the floor or not?
Yes, sir, you do.
Okay, I wanna talk to my buddy Zach over there.
Well, does that have
Did you have
anything
that
to do with us?
conversation
Yes, sir,
right here?
certainly does. I noticed Zach is trying to cancel some easements out here. Has the board made sure that that's not some easements they need, or they talked about it, or? As I determined, what I see is not a problem unless he's trying to vacate some Coquina easements.
I wasn't aware of anything. We had a couple of lots that we were gonna flip out. As a matter of fact, Ken Child started that, what? 4 months ago, 5 months ago?
Town-sided easement,
Would you like me to speak to it?
yes. On your time.
It's on my, well, I don't wanna go out of order. I was resting, I have it on my list of things to bring up.
Okay. Right. 4 Mile Canal easement. I don't know why y'all doing that, but you're sitting there complaining you don't want 4-wheeler to run up that canal. But now you're sitting there building perfect roads for them to just whip right and left, and we've always discouraged that to keep 4-wheelers off of those canal banks.
Okay,
Why are we doing it now?
Mr. Byers, you just stated not too long ago that we need to pay more attention to what our engineer says, and that he really runs the show.
Mm-hmm. Why are we doing it, Brian? Because you just told us by the board, but
Well, the first one was because we weren't allowed access to the property.
you still don't have access. The one y'all just did, you can go in there. You can go 2 or 3 roads, you gotta stop and back out. So where's the road? Is the road going in over?
Why do you have to stop and back out?
Because there's a shell pit down there that takes up the whole thing. And I know y'all not gonna fill in the shell.
I drove that.
From 4 Mile
To
to,
North Grade.
whereas someplace
Both sides.
you got out of your 80 feet then.
On the east side of 4 Mile, on the east
You don't
side,
have to pull, I got it, remember.
I don't recall going around there. Obstacle.
I gave you someplace you got out of the 8 feet. We had that blocked open there one time to keep people.
Well, I went along the canal. There could have been some washouts maybe I got outside there.
I know you got outside, you
But,
you got
I
some.
don't remember anything
These easements on section 32, Tom wants to go in there and fence off this whole. You're gonna be fencing off the only legal way people's got to get across to that corner to the private property.
Are you talking about down at the end?
Yep.
Okay, it has nothing to do with fencing the road off, but you go right along the canal there, the road, going back there, those people have their access. We also need to put a road in there for those people at the very end, because they're half one, on the south end of 32 there. You know what it is.
Where are you talking about? Show me a legal easement right now where you get that.
Follow your blue line, and then if you get down to that corner there, where the road goes, you're gonna see where those lots are. We're not fencing their lots off.
That blue line right there on the bottom? That's not a road. If you build a road, how you don't get across?
I'll meet you out there someday and we'll discuss it.
Hey, how you don't get across that slough? You're not. There's no legal
No,
way.
you aren't gonna get across that slough.
Okay.
There's no reason for anybody to enter that slough.
Well, there's no legal road, no legal easement from the top to come down to that corner.
Okay, well, something we can discuss.
Yeah, you better, because we can fence people off in the private
We're
property.
not fencing anybody off. My God.
Hey, Tom,
Uh,
he actually has raised some issues. I need to make some motions for the.
I'm sorry, what?
He's actually raised some issues. I need to make some motions before we adjourn. But are we done with our list?
Okay. Mr. Carter, will you approve?
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Steve Howard.
yeah, in reference to what I was saying with milk shutting down there, is on the east side of that canal, from 4 Mile going north, you can't go all the way up. The west side, you can go all the way out. And I think that's what you must be talking about, you had it shut down. Because on the east side of the canal,
East side, there was a washout in an
you
area.
can't go all the way up, but when you get up to that house up there, you have to detour around and come back.
Yeah, there was
On
an
the
area.
west side of the canal, you can go all the way.
Yes, sir. And that's where we did the work initially.
Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make reference to that, whenever you said you could go all the way through, I knew, I live right, very close to that, okay? The reason I put my name on the list was something entirely not related to what has been discussed. Along my property, which is off the 300 on the canal, I'm trying to maintain like the grass and stuff like that. I'm mow the swales, I don't know, 600 feet, way down, both directions. I try to maintain the grass area and stuff like that. And I'd like permission to put a couple cypress trees in down on the edge of the bank. Trying to beautify
On
the
your
area.
side of the property, not in the road?
No, down on the canal bank.
Okay.
On my property area of it. But I just want to go through you guys, if I put them down in there, when Mark comes through when he has to mow, if we've got permission to put the trees in there, we can not mow the trees off. If the trees are not
Would you
permission,
mind if we come by and look at it? And
I'll be happy to show you what I'm talking about.
Are you on A, B, G,
E,
E?
I'm on
Oh, that
E.
one has the banks in the right place, right?
The end of 300 Street, and the bank's in the right place there.
That would be my concern.
What I'd like to do is just put some cypresses down in it, because once it gets mowed down now, if you know what I'm saying, the cypress ought to be able to take off, because they're about probably this high now.
Right.
And I'd like to beautify it, if nothing else. So I just like permission, so that way if they're in with your permission, at least you won't get to chop them down every time you do
Could
something
you
about it.
write your address
I have
exactly?
it right here.
I'll
better let them know
swing
that.
by there Saturday and look, and we can see. You need to have
Engineer has a
something done.
comment, you need to hear it.
Can you give me a call? She's got my number also. Whenever you're gonna come by, so I can make sure I'm there.
I do think y'all should consider what kind of policy you're gonna have as far as maintaining that bank, mowing or herbiciding or whatever. And
That's why I
an
asked, yeah.
obstacle to potentially dodge or whatever.
Right, if it's in the canal, or you're talking about on the canal, on your property or the canal?
On the canal bank itself, on the slope side.
Into the water.
He's talking about what's about to be mowed with the.
Yeah, the area is about to move.
Okay, I would, I know you want it to look better, but I think it'd be in the way, I will go look at it. And then we'll just, we have permission to tell you yes or no, right, with this board, I mean.
I know the cypress trees
Without a meeting?
will help keep the bank stable among everything else, so.
I don't
The only
dislike
problem-
cypress trees, I don't like,
To
dislike
The
things,
only
I just, I
problem
see
is
as the
that-
obstacle, is only.
Yeah, me too.
Right, if when you go down there and we're trying to mow the bank, or we're
Or if we
trying to.
decide to re-
Well, I understand your part of it, and that's why I wanted to look through you, because if I put them down there and you just come off them off, I don't want to be aggravated because you come wax them off.
Right,
And
no, right.
if you
So
know
I'd
they're
like
there,
that.
at least you can kind of detour around them a little bit.
Okay, we can just go by and look at
Yeah.
it, sir, and we'll give you an answer.
Okay.
We'll try to do it within a week.
Like I said, if you give me a call, I'll make sure I'm there.
Okay, will do. Thank you. Who's next?
Teresa Houston.
I wanted to go ahead and address whomever, I guess, to the attention. How do we go about the advertising that the Prairie is a recreation, come out, have a great time, and walk away? Walk away, leave your trash, walk away, leave the roads a mess, which, to address the Coquina spending the money that they have, which is awesome. But unless we get this situation under hand, our taxes will raise, you will have more work to do every weekend, every holiday. And it doesn't end there. I mean, we're talking streets. That's not a disruption to me. I don't think to anyone else. What a disruption is the four-wheelers, is the partiers, is the all-nighters that have no concern for the individuals that are here on a permanent basis. They come, they buy land, they come, they party, they walk away. No concern whatsoever for the residents of the Prairie.
Amen.
Yep, thank
I
you.
agree with you 100%.
I did find out as well, on top of that, correct, we now, in our taxes, we have, in fine and great, we have to take our trash to the dump on the Peavine side, great, fine. We pay taxes for that. The individuals that are here and gone, they also have the ability to use that facility, and they do not pay taxes. If they are a landowner, great, I guess they'll be getting their first tax bill, I'm sure, this next year.
Let me answer to that,
Yes.
because I was the one who worked on the garbage center. When I came out here, every trash was at the 2 rooms, right? The people who lives out here pay taxes, $226 per year for the garbage. The people who own land does not pay anything. So it's Butch's responsibility not to let them dump it there.
And I agree they should, at some point, I'd rather have, not should be allowed, but okay, they're dumping their trash, fine, I'm not gonna nitpick at that. If not, it said if they don't leave it in the dump, they leave it on the road, they leave it on property, even their property. But regardless, they still leave it, and it still blows. So Unified, great. The four-wheelers are doing so much more than that. In fact, now we have residents out here posting signs that now threatening those four-wheelers, those people that are disrupting the main roads. Not only the main roads where I live, we have parades going down our roads. Crazy. I mean, parades. What is there to see? Where we live in a house, we have animals. What is there to see? We have, as residents, not only myself, but others that could be here. I'm here to ask for anyone's help in trying to understand why the weekenders, the holidayers have been allowed to take this as a recreational, hunting, come out and have fun at your own expense.
Shooting
guns.
Maybe the gentleman behind you could address
And
it.
we have
It's on the people that don't live here, use
When we hear machine guns going off, because it's been advertised as a hunting and let's come out and have fun, that's not cool with me. My house has been shot at. We now have individuals threatening to put boards in the roads to slash tires. I don't know if it's real or not. I saw the signs. But we also have horses we like to ride. We have not been able to ride the horses on the road any weekend or any holiday for I could not even tell you how long.
My cows in the back are so spooked, they're running through my fences. I just had to take my owner replace dappers to the market because I couldn't keep them hemmed up because I have an individual.
Do you think the resident here need to form an association?
I think it
Because
would be a
it's
wise,
out of
how do you want to
Coquina's
address
hand.
this issue for everybody? Because
I think a lot of what you're talking about, like trash thrown around, any type of commercial use of whatever in the property. You said people are advertising about coming out here.
Who is advertising?
We're talking
A lot of
specific, BME violence.
Oh, BMI.
Recreation, hunting. So, I mean, it's out there, guys. Everyone knows. We have ATVs, we have the mud buggies, we have, and it's not only the gravel roads, which Coquina maintains, but it's our personal roads. Because if you buy a piece of land, you know what? I mean, I don't know, Zach, I'll address you. When you tell individuals, come out, buy a piece of land, low monthly fee, are they restricted to their property, or is it advertised that the sky's the limit for you? Come on out here.
Do I have the floor?
To answer, absolutely.
No. I make it very clear that people have 4 corners. Every lot that I sell is surveyed. So this is what you can do, this is what you can't do on your property. They ask, their main concern is there's a trail coming across this lot. Are people, you know, if I want to build a home, do people, can they still ride through this? I said, no, they're trespassing. I said, so if I ride my 4-wheeler along a trail, I said, you're trespassing. You know, a lot of people don't understand that there's over 12,000 properties out here, and they're all owned by someone. And only the person who owns it can do those things on that property.
Well, then I apologize, and it's just human nature that they're out there destroying.
Well,
Even
this-
your environmental, there's not a.
This used to happen back in 2006, and the sheriff had put up a sign at the garbage center about trespassing, and one over there on the 144. But nobody, it's a new thing.
We don't have enough people.
A new thing.
And if I can add, those signs are great as an entrance. And I've always thought, you know, coming down 441, turning left onto 724. Even the residents, we pass it all the time. It's like, you know, it'd be nice to have a light there. But you know what? I don't want that light anymore.
Yeah.
Because people don't need it. It's just a free path to paradise. We've got at the entrance of 101, that green sign. They don't even see that anymore. We've had others, but they've been since taken down. We have bus stop signs that have taken down. We've had signs on our road taken down and stolen. I mean, where does it end? Where does it end?
Well, we need to get the Okeechobee County Commissioners them involved.
I guess we need to get a landowners association going or something
That's
to
not
get
gonna stop us,
to get some kind of signatures up.
The main thing
What
with
do you recommend to
association,
do?
nobody wants to pay association fee.
Associations don't solve these problems.
Can I just voice an opinion that, or somebody told me a great answer would be, remember when we had the cops sitting at the 2 major entrances, and they checked people's, they said, oh, I own property here, and they would look it up. Well, we can't find it. And if they couldn't find that those people actually owned land, they sent them away. So many people from Fort Lauderdale and stuff were coming up here. It's just a drag to drive that far. They did it about at least 5 weeks, maybe like 8 or 9 weeks in a row. It totally cut down the traffic. It made it a lot more peaceful.
I don't
We
think
could
the
get
sheriff's
together.
department even has the manpower to do that.
Right. They probably don't. We could get together and put rent-a-cops out there from like Friday afternoon till Sunday morning. And they can.
Think anybody to volunteer?
That's a whole lot of money
No, we
there.
can't do it off the budget. Cannot do
They
it off
work
the
by
budget.
the
It's not
hour.
our money.
And that's
The
right.
officer
I mean,
has
if
a
we
statement.
could- If we could free up Coquina some of Coquina's money, I mean, that's,
You
Can you
can't,
guys
it's
imagine,
allocated
could you guys imagine what we could do out here if we didn't have the ATVers out here taking up that money
Okay,
all
listen,
the
this is
time?
just getting a little out of hand here.
Can you tell us what you wanna say? He's a representative of the.
Like the attorney address.
I've done some research on, a lot of research on the four-wheeler problem. The four-wheeler problem needs to be combated at numerous different directions to be successful at it. One of the problems that we're having is like 4 Mile Mud Hole. Everybody knows about 4 Mile Mud Hole. I met with Bill Royce at the Planning and Zoning Department. That's actually deemed a illegal use of land and lies on the landowner as it's their liability, and they can actually be fined by code enforcement to continue to allow that to go on once notified, legally notified. There's numerous properties out here that you have one landowner. I went there weekend before last on duty. I went there and there was 16 camper trailers parked on one lot that there's one landowner there. You know, that's a multi-family zoning. This is owned RSFA, residential single family. Okay, that is not an RV resort. So that's the illegal use of land. So a lot of these problems can be combated in that direction, as well as the support from Coquina Water District through the research of the attorney to find out what legal, if you are legally allowed to post the reservoirs. You shut down the areas that they're allowed to ride, and that puts them on the roads that we can enforce.
You can enforce all access roads, right?
So, yeah,
1 mile,
anything
2
deemed a
mile.
public access, we can enforce. So Coquina Water District Board needs to, it's my recommendation that you contact your county commissioners, your planning and zoning, which is Bill Royce, and have a meeting and see how you can get the support from them to fix this problem. Because I think you're gonna find out Coquina Water District has a ton of liability once they know this is going on, and it is your responsibility. I think it's worth looking into.
Can the four-wheelers legally go up and down the road?
I'm sorry?
Can the four-wheelers legally go up and down the road?
Legally, the four-wheelers are supposed to have, through the research, the four-wheelers are supposed to have the license plate, the tag, bumpers.
And they don't.
Have the driving license, all that.
We had
The
gone
research
down, I
I've
think
come
it was
to
1 mile, and
to
it was
right now,
amazing how many
there's a little-
people were in
there's a
front of
little
us.
gray area there that we're trying to get through with the state attorneys right now, but we're steadily working on it.
But can you get a license plate for a four-wheeler?
I'm sorry?
Can you get a license plate for a four-wheeler? So that it can drive on the road like that?
It has, I think they have them
It has
for,
been done.
side
If you
by
can,
side.
if you have, I mean, if it's got a VIN number and you have blinkers and all the safety equipment required by the state of Florida, sure. I mean, they put dune buggies on the road.
Well, you just mentioned blinkers. Now, technically,
You don't need those.
you don't have to have blinkers if you got arm pavement.
Right.
Well,
So I understand they require
I think
windshield
you're
wipers.
talking about a motorcycle. I think you're talking about a motorcycle. This is four wheels.
Well, I understand that.
So, I mean, that's another technicality that, some attorney could argue in court, but, I mean, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But I think it's
You can, Brian, we don't need to.
We're holding you up, this is,
We're just.
$5 an hour there or whatever.
Yeah, can I mention just a couple more things on the side of Coquina? Where the mud holes are, those do cross physical roads. Those physical roads are the roads that we live on. Should we be, number one, calling Coquina to come out every weekend or every Monday to fix those roads so we can get across them? Sounds silly, I know, but it's a problem. It's a problem when the four-wheelers, then it rains, and then you can't get across those roads where it's very difficult in a vehicle. The other thing, you don't have to answer now, but something to think about is the speeds and the restrictions on the roads as we drive into our prairie, and 12, 15 four-wheelers, ATVs are flying past us. What is to stop them? Because that's not the jurisdiction, I guess, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You cannot stop those four-wheelers from
If it's not
speeding, little baby On the front, I mean, there is no restrictions there.
The research I found out the later part of this last week, that, and I'm still trying to get through it, you think, but if it's deemed residential, then there is, you don't have to post it, and there is a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. If it's a,
If it's a combination, because we're residential and agricultural.
There's only residential. If you're agriculture, it leaves a big loophole that you don't have to pull permits and you have illegal structures. So the county is having that problem. They come in there and it's on this RSFA. It is RSFA. It has an agriculture outlay in case somebody wants to have a horse, something like that, so that, you know, somebody from the coast moves in, they don't like to smell
Oh,
the
okay,
horse.
so we are considered residential now?
You're RSFA.
Okay.
Residential single family zoning. You sell the land out here.
Well, there's a lot of agricultural properties out here.
If it's larger than a certain
To be bona fide agricultural, it has to be over 5 acres. And you have to meet
well, there's
certain
a difference
criteria.
between agriculture zoning and agriculture use.
Speaking of agricultural use.
Actually, it's 10 acres.
Yeah, I think.
I think 5 for tree farms and 10 for livestock.
But it's something that needs to be researched, and if we can all work together, law enforcement, field team of the county, work together to combat this problem so that everybody's happy, you know, that's what we're here to do.
Isn't speeding a law enforcement problem? And you can put signs up everywhere. If people are gonna speed, they don't care about the sign.
It's private roads.
If you,
We couldn't even we had to buy our own stop signs for crying out
It's
loud.
not a law enforcement, responsibility to put, signs.
no,
those
to
kinds of-
stop the
it's a county-
speeders,
it's a
to
county.
stop the speeders.
But on the P line, don't you have
It does not have to be posted for us to give them a speeding ticket.
No, that's what I'm saying. Isn't that the answer to the issue? Instead of these signs, and people don't care about signs, if they're racing up and down the streets, it's a law enforcement issue. You can stop them and give them a ticket. They get enough tickets, they won't wanna come up here.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
If we observe them.
Yeah.
We have to observe them,
Right.
and then they're gonna tell all their friends, go down to the next road or something.
We just can't look at them. We know they're doing 100 mile an hour. Everybody knows they're doing 100 mile an hour down the road, but without a certified radar or us tracking them, you can't ride them. We have to have proof.
Can we get an appointment to have you come out on the next holiday and set on
Well,
300 Street?
we have 4 deputies. We cover 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Of course, the prairie, we also, the deputies that cover the prairie also cover Fort John Messenger, so we get call heavy sometimes. And
I had to say that.
Can't be here all the time, but we certainly try to cater to the residents out here. Y'all, your voice matters too.
Brian, ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Does that horse gotta have a VIN number, a tag?
It does have to have a Coggins.
Trespassing on a horse or trespassing on the four-wheeler? What's the difference?
Well, there's a lot more damage.
Well, I'll have to look into that. I don't think it's against the law to ride a horse down the side of the road, but it is against the law to ride a four-wheeler down the road.
Even you don't gotta worry about horse speeding, because not too many of them's gonna run
Hey,
at
we'll
35 miles an hour.
fertilize the prairie, that's the only thing we can contribute on our part, that's all we'll do. Fertilize the prairie.
There's things in there that I don't think should be said. And there's 3 packets of them, and
And he would guide you right through.
can we reduce for 2 hours?
No, we don't need
You would conduct it with him and he would.
There's so many other things, and we don't need to have the lawyer and an engineer sitting here. I do have a couple things we have to do, we have some stuff brought up.
Okay, no, you got you.
No, I
Listen to the attorney, please.
First of all, Cocina legally does not have any police involved. You can't put up speeding signs, you can't stop people, you can't give tickets or anything like that. And you have the same thing as your code enforcement. All of this stuff goes back to the county, but right now I'm not doing anything that I can see. I need to get with them and we need to come to some kind of an understanding or agreement because, I think quite frankly, this place has been ignored
Over here.
for a long time.
Yeah.
And,
I think as a board, and if we drug a whole bunch of residents with us to a meeting, they would have to hear us.
That's the main reason why
That's a good
I
idea.
invited Mr. Culpepper, who just took over a couple of years ago, to the meeting, so he can see what goes on.
But he says that, you know, it's like somebody hands
Of course,
Tom
we
a piece
show
of
up,
paper.
We can't show up legally, 3 of us together at a board meeting, can we, Tony?
Yeah, if we schedule it or we announce it, if we make it part of our meeting or something, there's a way we can do it. You just have to do it right.
Can I suggest maybe an evening so the individuals that are working can obviously make a meeting after hours?
They've done that before. I think they've done 7 p.m. meetings.
That would be awesome.
Okay, next person,
Daylight,
Mr. Plaza.
Ready for me?
Yes.
All right, I'll try to keep it brief. Boyd, one comment is that the zoning out here is acre and a quarter. That's considered a home site.
Yes.
If you sell off part of it to the county or deed off part of it, you're under an acre and a quarter. Even if 90% of that is an easement, you still have an acre and a quarter. Once you cut it up and get rid of it, you have less than an acre and a quarter. You might want to check with the county as far as if it's still a buildable lot, if you do that. They could say no problem, they could do an agreement, but that's just one thought.
Thank you, man.
Mr. Byers, DISA. Board members, as you all know, this cleared area here is the town site of DISA. It's a recorded plat. It's about 160 acres. I own the north 80 acres. The town site of DISA is broke up into 25-foot by 100-foot lots with a lot of roads, and it has a town hall site, and it has a fountain site, and I'm familiar with these kind of maps. The original developers put these things in there to make the map more attractive to investors that are far away. So it's going to be beautiful. These are all the amenities. The town site of DISA has had cows on it since the beginning of long time. I have no interest in developing 25-foot by 100-foot lots. And met with Mr. Royce and county, and he doesn't want to do it either. I said, what I'd like to do is get rid of DISA. It says, this way there's no RV sites, there's no 25-foot by 100-foot lots out there. I'd like to vacate the plat. So what that means is the north half of DISA, I would get rid of all the little lines and all the roads and the town hall site and everything else and make it one big described 80-acre parcel. In order to do that, Mr. Royce is requiring that I get the approval from Coquina to make sure that Coquina does not have any interest in those little roads or those lots. My research has showed that Coquina doesn't. However, I think it would be a good idea for Coquina's council to review DISA, and I'd be happy, Mr. Young, to give you surveys and everything else to make sure that Coquina does not have any right-of-ways, easements, or interest through that 80 acres.
Oh, right now, isn't it not blocked off, the roads? The roads are blocked off?
Everything's blocked off. 298, that goes through there, really isn't even 298. It's, as far as I understand, when the developer was required to cut the roads and ditches and canals in order to break it up into acre and a quarter lots, he had someone come in here and cut everything. You know, half-mile road, half-mile canal, half-mile road. And I've been down this road before, up in section 12, doing a de minimis, where the road exists, but it's not actually a road. It's not a Coquina easement. So that's my belief in 298, but I think Mr. Young will be able to confirm that. So
is that a taxing, is it an out parcel?
No.
It's
Pay
not.
big taxes on that.
Huh.
And, you know,
So you're saying you want to put it into acre lots, or you want to put it in 10-acre lots?
No, 180 acre, you wanna make it, right?
I want to make it one 80-acre lot From there, if I can do it de minimis with the county, the lowest you can go is a 20-acre lot, I believe, or 10-acre lot. But that's up to the county. They will not allow any subdivision of acre and quarter lots. That's it. But what I need from Coquina in order to go to the commissioners meeting on the 22nd is a letter saying Coquina needs this access, or Coquina has this access, or Coquina has no access, or whatever Coquina has is there, if anything. Because the county wants to know, or wants to make sure that, I'm not cutting off any rights of Coquina.
I have one more question for you. I know that as landowners, we can blend our lots to save on taxes. Can't you select out the ones you want to blend them together, call them one, and then after that, it would take a cutout to separate them? What's holding you from that?
Right now, that 80 acres is one property. One 80
Oh, I
acre,
see what
one
you're saying.
tax bill.
It is,
But
okay.
underneath that is the plat of Decent, which I don't want to
gotcha.
develop. The
Yeah,
county
you're
will not
backwards
let
on ours.
anybody develop. In order to clean it up, which is not required, but I like to keep things tight and clean and neat and orderly, I want to vacate it. The county wants to vacate it. The county wants to make sure that Coquina doesn't have an interest in the little roads and town hall site in Decent.
Are you saying that, like any easements that Coquina has would remain in place?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not trying to cut any easements out.
Maybe in compliance with this whole.
Right, exactly. But what I'm saying is that I don't believe Coquina has easements going through there.
Can I say something like that?
Yeah.
I think they do.
That's why.
Now, there was an effort by attorney about 25 years ago to cancel them, but that didn't fly. That there's at least 3 easements go across that 160 acres. Now, so I think one is affected, and one day there's gonna be houses in there, there's big expect Coquina taxes, they're gonna be called drainage in here. Coquina may need that easement.
I'm not looking to abandon these, bro. I'm not.
Coquina easements.
Correct. Those are
Okay.
completely separate. I'm only talking about DSED easements.
I can give Tony a document number saying those easements are there, if he wants to research.
That'd be fantastic.
But let me go a little further. There's a problem on the, if I got floor, Tom,
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
Zach
go
does,
ahead.
you're answering Zach.
the way you worded abandoned it on the west side, you put down, then you put a less than accept.
Right.
But you put down the west 40 feet of the southern colonization, which should have been 20 feet. Okay, which is no big deal. They ain't gonna abandon that's paved road, they ain't gonna abandon that either.
I can speak to that. The description that you were reading.
Yeah.
There were 2 separate lots there that I've since combined. When I purchased the property, I had to purchase 2 properties. It was 79.5 acres and then a half acre. That was in the middle.
Right.
The descriptions of the properties ran, lengthwise. So they ran through. So there it was and I had a question with the title company on less than accept and what's this, what's that. I ran it past 3 different surveyors and had the survey done to show exactly what it is. And that language, although it's confusing, is correct. But some of the less than accept and 40 feet and this and that is speaking to the half acre, or some of it's speaking to the 79.
Okay, there's another issue you didn't speak of in there. You got Southern Colonization Grant, which is 40 feet wide, it actually 20 foot on the that's a hard to do.
On the Peavine?
Hard, yeah. Okay. And you didn't mention that 30 or 40 feet Coquina got between the Peavine and the property. Do you intend to address that?
I only intend to vacate the lines and the plat of Decent. I'm not doing anything with Coquina easements, whether they're there or not there. The town site of Decent
I
might have
understand that. Yeah, I
100
got
roads
the
there.
You know, I get that.
That's
You
it.
just want to wipe that out, that's fine. That's a smart business move.
That's it. I have no interest, that property needs the Coquina easement.
Yeah.
I have no interest in getting rid of it. That's not what the application is. Strictly DISA. But DISA has, in that 80 acres, it might have 50 roads going north-south.
Well, they should have got rid of it.
They should have, but no one did.
Right.
So I'm stepping in at my expense to try to do it. What the county wants to know is if Coquina has an interest in those 50 roads going north-south.
not better what they do on the big leagues.
Exactly, which is not decent. They're not decent. So that's decent. So my request to the board is to ask the board council to review it and to issue a letter to the county if Wakena has any objection to vacating of the north side of Pisa.
Okay. I'll give you a call.
Yeah, I don't want to ask, it's the board's decision.
No, I think that's a good idea. Because we have to make sure we're not like creating a situation
Right,
where
whatever
land is locked.
Zach, we come up with is.
So if you would check it out and make
I
sure.
have no objections whatsoever.
Right.
Pretty sure we got on talking
Good.
about the same thing.
Mr. Young, thank you.
80 acres of decent.
Mr. Byers, have I addressed your concerns?
I'm fine with it. Not always you.
Nothing to do with the community, just decent.
Just, we still got the north thing right now, canal easement, and we bought that canal easement.
I know, it's short.
And bought that up.
Just decent. Good. Thank you. I'm done.
Who's next?
That's it.
Okay, Ryan, I'll get it over.
These questions and discussions did raise a couple of questions. I have a couple motions to make. The paperwork we just signed right here was to have the three of us as signers. We discussed taking Danny out, but apparently we never made a full motion. So I move that only board supervisors are signers on our accounts.
No, let me ask another question before you second it. As a kid, you set up 3 board members and Danny. For instance, if something should happen to
Any two
no, suppose something happens, like 2 of us not up here, 1 person can get here. So that's why I think he was the backup, he's on there.
I think actually from what Cheryl was telling me is he was looking at all of the work and making sure it was done. He's the only one that looked at it, but we live out here and we look at the work too.
Yeah,
And
that part of it, looking at the work, because
well, it's something that
it's
Melvin
just in
did
case
not
2
long
of us, oh, take a minute, 2 of us cannot make it. There's only 1 person here. There's a second, he's a second person to go along with you. Both of you can go, or you and I can go.
we're not going there anymore, Dorothy. Remember we
I know
changed
that,
it?
I'm just saying, that's why it was set up that way.
So do you have a problem with it in the future if we're emailing back and forth?
No,
Okay.
but I'm just explaining this.
Oh,
to you.
okay. All right. Well, I just don't see a place for it in the future. So, it's really going to be like one
And
person
one other thing I want
after 2
to,
people.
one other thing I want to bring up is that the email address and address for all 3 of us is 246 Street. Why? It's on the
website.
It's on the website.
Is
246.
it, why did you use that?
Because the law says I have to put an address, and I just put a temporary address there.
Oh, you could put 242, which is Coquina address.
But you don't have a post, so you don't have a mailbox.
Oh.
Well, we need to change that.
Okay, as soon as we get a mailbox, let's change that then. But in the meantime,
Wait a minute.
Can I get a
Right
second?
there, right?
excuse me?
I'm gonna go get a mailbox. We have to have a mailbox now.
Right. We should have had one a long time ago.
Keith was gonna give me the okay today, and he said it's pretty, I'm sure he's, I don't know if he's checked, in here to check yet, he was gonna call me, but he hasn't.
Oh, that's the
11?
mailman, Keith?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
16.
Uh,
Why you giving it?
That's the address that's on our, we're gonna be on our mailbox here. That's
Oh,
our
but I'm
address
just
right
telling
here.
you what I see on the website.
Well, we'll change it when we put a box up.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. What if you wanted a second?
I wanted to move that only board supervisors are signers on our accounts.
You want to second that?
I second that.
Okay, everybody in favor?
Aye.
Alright. I've got a couple other things. Tony, this is a huge can of worms. I don't even know if, I think that we can get around it by, discontinuing the employee handbook, but maybe not really, and we really do need to look into it. When you require that somebody has a CDL, you're basically acknowledging that you want a driver for, well, drivers are supposed to have,
Background checking on drivers.
they're supposed to have a DQ file. If you do not have that, if you're ever checked into $5,000 your first fine, and they warn you in training that if you get that first $5,000 fine, they're really quick to come back and check on you. They're looking for, okay, you guys aren't doing.
Keep it up.
Yeah, well, the second fine is $20,000, and the third fine is $50,000. And I don't remember what happens after that, but it was pretty ugly. And then I did receive that training like probably 4 or 5 years ago. It might have been a little bit longer than that. So it's something that we need to take serious, because a lot of people find out they're not in compliance when it's too late, and they start into the whole process. I don't know by our roads, if we kept our dump truck off of 724, and our roads are access roads, but we're kind of the owners and they're kind of private, if we would need to have a CDL. And I think at times we've had drivers on our roads, and they might have been contracted ones, that weren't even, licensed, which isn't a good idea, but if your contractor does that, you don't catch them. That
You
may
have
be
to have a
just-
CDL.
Maybe I'm wrong there. But if we're requiring our people to have a CDL, then we definitely, I feel, have to have that DQ file in place. Can you find out if we would be required on our little
You'll be required to cover that dump truck. I know I was CDL driver 44 years.
And so we need to create DQ file.
Well, you have one truck driver here, which is, can you have a CDL license?
So we need to create that file. So,
There is one now.
Yes,
I doubt.
Butch has a
He has
CDL license.
CDL.
Does he have the file that will make the DOT happy? Have we written to every single employer? Do we have him in a drug pool? Do we?
We have him in a drug pool.
Where's his pool back to?
It's
Is it DOT certified?
It's at Wicks, Brown and Williams. You look it over. It's there.
Okay, I just
went
wanna make
in
sure
and
we're
I looked
completely
all
in
of them
compliance.
over. Danny doesn't have a CDL license. The only person here have one is Butch.
All right. Well, I'm gonna check that out there then and make sure it's.
All of the employees' file is at Wicks, Brown and Williams.
And he has a separate DQ file?
Everything is in there, whatever I have. That is why I went in, because.
Okay, Dorothy, do you understand it's a
Hold
separate
on.
file?
Do
Do you understand that?
They mix everything in one.
It's not supposed to be.
What I found out is that over the years, maybe since they are employed here, none of them had background check, drug test, and physical. And that was done.
Okay, if he's getting his annual motor vehicle license report added in, all his violations are added in annually.
Go there and look it over and
Okay.
this will get the file.
I just want to make sure we're in compliance. 'cause we've got-
That's some of the things I looked into.
Okay. Well, anyways, we had talked about discontinuing the employee handbook, and we already technically grandfathered in our current employees, but right now it's important that we either go and amend stuff and keep that, or we discontinue it. And like I said, I'm in favor of not having it, because like, Melvin was saying, you can't hire somebody, and he's basically going off the whole old handbook. I'm not opposed to saying our new hires need to have physicals and drug tests. We can adopt that. But I do think printing this whole handbook out and amending it and keeping it is a lot for an employee to learn and us to learn. So I move with the accepted.
Before you move, that handbook was just redone 2013.
Yes, I know.
It
And we're
was
talking about
like-
redoing it again.
It
We
was
don't have to
like
go through the
$300 and something
attorney.
to go over
You
it.
can rewrite that handbook right at this table, and we can print it up, and it's there. We get that.
You guys
explain all that to us.
Yes, I know, but do you understand that when you keep a handbook you have to keep it up to date and printed and handed out, and everybody needs to know the rules and follow them.
Everyone
And it's a
of
liability for us
every
and them.
employee got a copy
Right.
the last time. So they have
Somebody's
to,
relocated the one you gave me.
you know, they all have a copy.
Okay, so you guys want to reprint a new handbook and make changes to it,
No, I
that's what you're
don't.
telling me?
No, I don't. We
I'd
don't
rather
have
not
money
even
to do
have one,
that.
not consider one, just
Why?
write policies.
Why you don't want to have one?
Because I look at how many hours in the last year and a half have been spent talking about it, and how much money it takes to print one, distribute it, and learn it, and talk about it. We could just develop a couple policies. We could do a cost analysis on how much does it really cost to give our employees 14 vacation days a year, for instance, and say, gosh, that really ends up costing this much. Let's only give them 2. And let's pick it to these, or let's give them 7, or whatever, but we can change it fluidly all the time, keep it posted on the internet, no printing, and in the office, we can post our changes. And that way people can come in and see it and say, hey.
Tony, is that legal to just put something on the wall and labor the laws?
Well, what you're talking about here is the handbooks or employee, future ones too. You wouldn't have to rewrite the whole book. Okay, you can add an addendum, or amendment, or whatever you want to call it. And you're only talking about what? A dozen pages maybe?
Yeah.
And attach it to however many handbooks you're gonna be using. But you've got to have some kind of a basic protocol or path for an employee to follow. I mean, he's gotta know what the rules are, what he can do, what he can't do. Because otherwise you say, well, you violated such and such. Nobody told me about such and such. You gotta have, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna work.
And any employee, present that doesn't have it or future, simply have to sign a
What's
receipt.
wrong?
Well, we do have the ability to fire them just because we don't like the color of their new hair dye. So I don't see where that would be a problem. I mean, you're basically gonna have a conversation with your employee that, you know what, that's unacceptable behavior, and we don't want you to do that anymore. It does not take the handbook.
But there's a lot of other stuff in that handbook that tells them how to do, like I say,
I'm saying, when you
one of
issue
their basically their
employees,
rights.
Right, so it's a liability
and
against
they
us.
read it and sign that they have acknowledged that they read it. They sign the paper like you're going to the
That's why it's nice to have a handbook. The guy comes in here.
It's a whole thing to print and argue and read and.
What I'm saying is, whatever your amendment is, you can simply attach it to the existing book. Taking out,
Okay,
that's the whole thing.
Right, but it's not a legal necessity. It's not a legal necessity.
I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay, did you guys hear that? Basically, Tony says, in his opinion, it's a good idea to have a handbook. He thinks we should amend it, but it's not legal. I mean, it's not a legal requirement. We don't have to do it. It's up to us to decide. So we can decide not to have a handbook and establish policies and make them aware of them by memos or posting, and it can be on the internet. I don't really think we need all that many policies myself. But you can change them and establish them as it goes and make it fluid.
Okay, the current employees are on the current handbook that we have.
That they're grandfathered in. We did that already. Last time we had this discussion, I thought we did away with it. I see it in the minutes. Apparently, it's not a voted on thing, so it didn't happen. So I'm asking you again if you consider that.
To get rid of the handbook?
Yeah, we just won't have a handbook anymore. We'll develop policies.
So what happened to the one that is there?
That is reserved for
We
Danny
gonna have
and Bush.
amendment to the handbook.
I'd like to add some things to them. It's kind of
we
getting
can have
ridiculous when they're
amendments.
taking the grader and they're going back and forth at lunch, and mainly, they're using their equipment to get our equipment to go to lunch instead of their own vehicle and back and forth.
Okay,
and all this.
well,
So
what
what's
you
going
can
on
do,
there?
make an amendment to that. Nobody,
All right, it seems to me you guys are unwilling to scrap the handbook.
I don't want to scrap the handbook.
Then let me suggest this. I
Scrap
move
it if you like.
that we get the PDF file of the handbook so we can change it at will. And we can just put it on our website. And if you want to get a printed copy of it, anybody can run it off
Sorry,
whenever.
wasn't that, Chip, wasn't that on the Didn't I give you the handbook to go on there, or we were gonna scratch?
You have scans. What I need is a file that's actually able to be edited.
Okay.
You need a doc file. You need a DLC file. Somebody somewhere wrote that handbook, and it's
The labor attorney.
and it's on
So
and it's on their computer. So they just have to email that file. That's it.
They should have it.
We had that very, forgot her
Goldstein.
Goldstein.
I think that was
She
in
says,
Yeah, but not a PDF, a DLC or a DLCX or something that's editable.
okay,
So maybe we can have you call and get that chip since you're the office guy now. And let us know if we have a problem with that. Okay, so then apparently if we're living by that, where do we take Chip for his drug test and his physical?
I'd have to find out where, Butch and Danny they go.
Okay.
some walk-in clinic, what was the name of it?
They have a
Dr.
place.
Sweeta does those things.
No, they have a place.
That's where
We
they
have
a
probably,
lot of labor, because I've been in there and they have a whole bunch of containers where they have all kinds of people's physicals. They just go in there and it's this company and this company and this company. It's a walk-in clinic.
I'd have to find out which place to tell you where he went.
no, I can get these
So did you
minutes
drop the
tomorrow.
idea that the board members should be on this?
I mean, I can try them then.
Okay, because I can't hand this in until I have those minutes.
It was in the minutes that we were all,
I'm gonna give her this to check on the
yes, ma'am, I'm
deposit
sorry, I'm
box.
trying to pay attention.
I think this right here makes all of us able to go. She asked me and I said, I think we should all be able to. I set this up so the three of us have full
When I went there
signing ability.
yesterday, when I went there yesterday, there was no mention of the,
Safety deposit. She asked me about it.
no, so they have to reprint it, we sign.
Who can go to the safety deposit box right now? Anybody?
Me.
You? Only you?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
I don't know, I've never gone in and read it.
It's
All I
probably
know-
empty, but there may be
No,
gold
it's
bricks
not
in it.
empty. There are all documents are in there.
Okay.
Which Brown and Williams has the key.
You got a key?
No, I don't have no key and I don't want no key.
I know, I wouldn't go there myself. But we should
have to have
inventory it. We do need to inventory it.
Yes, all different documents from years ago.
Possibly Aaron have the permission to go and just take that, whatever's in there and bring it.
No,
No,
you
she can't do
have
that.
to get a board. The way you get into this is you have to get board minutes to prove that everybody agrees. Get that person as a signer. So if you do that, you're going to make her a signer for our safety deposit box. I mean, you could do that, but then we need to print minutes. The safest thing to do is,
All I know is that all three can't go there and do it.
unless we make it a public meeting.
You guys got the signature right now.
Yes, I have.
Apparently, just Dorothy.
Right, you can go in and store it.
Yes.
Take a person with you. Take a bank employee. Take Aaron. Take Chip.
Okay, I
Take
can
somebody.
take care of it.
Yeah, just have something they can witness.
Yes,
That's all
it
you
is what it is.
You guys just write down the exact documents that are there.
I remember it when I died tonight, it's Brown and Williams.
Oh, please, let's say a prayer. That doesn't.
No, no man is an island.
Okay, I really like that guy's suggestion. I'm sorry, I forget his name. Where he said that, you know, when you look at county job postings and there's a pay scale listed, if we list our jobs online, I think we should say, you know, the scale, not like labor one gets this per se, like you don't attach a name to it, but people will have an idea of, you know, you'll take right now the lowest scale to the highest, or make that your scale, so that everybody knows roughly what a position pays, and it kind of
Yes,
clues them in if
see,
they want to apply or not.
That, when you bring that up, that just goes back to 6 months ago. When I was misinformed that Coquina pays $15 an hour for an office there.
Right.
Whereas I was saying $10.75. But it was said, but Coquina has never had an office help in the 15 years we've been here.
Oh, I think they have. They used to have a secretary in here
When?
years ago, before your time. In
I've
the
been,
minutes,
I've been coming here since 2005.
no, it was before. It was before 5.
Yeah.
There was a full-time secretary years ago. So, anyways, for pay sale
You're gonna
transparency.
take care of the
Yes,
safety
I-
deposit
yes,
box
I'm
for the
going to
chair.
do that.
Well, Dorothy, are you going tomorrow? Do you want to take this and ask them if we're on the box or not? Do you want this card back?
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, I move that all job listings and paid positions at Coquina Water Control have pay scale listings on our website.
Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Certainly.
I'm having some trouble with my vehicles. Is there a chance that you might be able to go in my place to sign the checks tomorrow?
Well, if she can get there, but she has to get there before noon.
Are you going
She has
down?
to get that turned in before I can
No,
sign
this
them.
is the bank. She's
Okay,
talking
come on,
about
I'll
the
be there when I
payroll.
get there.
Payroll.
I can't sign the payroll. I'm not a
Okay,
signer on our
sorry. Go ahead
checks.
with what you wanted to do.
Okay,
We're already
oh
2
yeah,
hours
she
and
just signed it.
25 minutes, or 2.5 hours since it's signed. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to do this later, Tom? We can continue later.
To the next meeting, next
What
month?
you got going on? Is this motion you want to make to get some changes? Is that what you got there?
Yeah, but I mean, I've got a stack of them. I just pulled out some that I thought pertained to now. You guys want to keep the handbook, so that one didn't fly. But I said, I move that all job listings and paid positions at Coquina Water Control have a pay scale listing on our website.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Can we move into these things slowly? We do one set at this meeting, next meeting we try to cover. But if we're gonna boom, boom, boom to do everything at the same time, we're gonna get into trouble.
Okay, as far as those, we don't know whether to pay, this is for future help.
Right. But when we
haven't
advertise,
made anything up on this yet,
right?
but when we do advertise, we're gonna have to probably, you have to give them minimum wage to, you just get a job description,
would
what
have
they
to
can,
be
for instance, an operator, to be able to operate a,
I think the job description with operator, they're supposed to have a rate, right?
Right.
Right? They're supposed to have a rate.
I mean,
well, you were talking earlier about if we don't give them insurance, they get so much money. If we give them
Part-time
insurance,
help,
they ain't gonna get.
part-time help, we don't need to give them insurance.
we don't need to give
Let's just
full-time
do
health
that.
insurance. We just elected to pay them
Let's just-
$11,000 a year as insurance. That's something we elected to do. That's what I'm talking about, a benefit. And if you do a cost analysis on that, you start to see what you really pay your employees.
What do you say, Tony?
Well, I was just gonna suggest, if you wanna get something on the website to the effect that, you know, anybody's interested in a job here, employment,
Yeah, they have to pay their own insurance.
how they can contact whoever they contact, whatever, without getting into micromanaging what they're gonna get paid and so on, and what it requires. In other words, if somebody's interested enough, you sit down with them and explain, okay, if you wanna be a driver or whatever, operate heavy equipment, this is what's required. And that's just a suggestion, so you're not having to put everything, on the website.
Right.
And if somebody's interested, you know, whoever's gonna interview them can explain exactly what the job requirements are. And it really doesn't matter, you can do it either way, I'm just saying that would cut down on, if you ever have to go back and change your wages, your spread or whatever, or change anything in there, if you just leave it like an open invitation, if you're interested in the job, contact us.
Prior to years gone by when I used to manage certain companies, each person who's seeking a job has to bring in their drug test, background check, and physical. The company does not pay for that.
Right, and again, this is, like I said, everything, that anybody that shows up and says, you know, I'm interested, what have you got? All of this can be laid out to you. You give them a form, whatever is necessary, tell them where to go to get the physical, get the drug test. It would just save you from having to put it all on the website, because you're gonna have a lot of stuff on there.
But I don't think the taxpayers should be paying for the drug test and background check and all those stuff.
I think once they're hired, they should be.
But they get it before they're hired. They bring
Who's
it in
gonna pay that money on a maybe you can have a job? You got 75 people interested, and 10 of them that are the very best employee possibilities have been unemployed for a long time and can't afford that. So you knock them right out because you're trying to get them to pay for a maybe.
If a person needs a job, then we don't need to sympathize with them. That's my feeling.
Well, we sure do sympathize in the benefit department.
You don't have to. You just say that we don't have to pay.
That's what I would like to do, is not benefit so much anymore.
If you don't want
Can we
benefit.
bring this up again?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Tom. Cut.
We still have to get our minutes approved, and she wants to read the minutes, and so
Oh,
we can
that's
carry on with this and read the minutes if you like, and so we can approve our.
There's so many minutes to read, I think we should just read the first set.
I haven't already. I'm just broke.
Because you see what happened, we had 3 meetings, so we have 3 sets.
In the future, this is not gonna happen, to come in here and have this stuff thrown on the table on us. I wanna be able to read the stuff before we get here.
Yeah, it would spend in the minutes. Can you make sure you email it to us a week in advance, Aaron? Alright, I'm not gonna read all the mumbo jumbo about legalities and technicalities. This is the December 10th meeting. Mrs. Miles announced that a quorum was present and that it was in order to consider any business to properly come before the board. The nominations, Mr. Young stated with regards to the nominations at the November meeting, he's requesting to put those nominations on hold until the next board meeting so that he can review the matter and determine if a nominated board member can vote for themselves. He suggested that the board vote in certain procedures with regards to nominating and voting in officers of the board. South Florida Water Management District. Mr. Clemens stated that the board asked South Florida Water Management District to be present at this meeting. Mrs. Galvan stated the district is attempting to come in compliance with South Florida Water Management District. Jesse Marcus stated he is present to discuss the letter of noncompliance which was sent to the district in October 2014, which itemizes the issues which are not in compliance with the permit issued to the district.
So,
Yeah.
That was just on 40, so.
One of these issues is the culverts at the end of the roadways connecting to the major drainage canal. Mr. Markle stated the issue is not with the length of the culvert, but rather with the diameter of the culvert, as well as the presence of riser board on the upstream end of culverts. It was actually as well as the lack of presence. I'll make notes and you can look at it. If the district wants to do something different than what is permitted, it is the district's responsibility to submit an application to South Florida Water Management District requesting a modification of the permit. Mr. Felt stated that the current culverts do not have any risers, but only have the culverts Mr. Byers put in place. Mr. Byers stated the board put in 18-inch culverts, and these culverts were inspected and approved by South Florida Water Management engineers. Mr. Priest stated the current permit does not specify an elevation, but does give a generalized slope. Mr. Clemens explained to South Florida Water Management his 4 proposals. See attached report. Mr. Ken Childs asked South Florida Water Management District engineers if it is their intention to have the water leave the Viking as quickly as possible. Also, he stated that South Florida Water Management District's purpose is by installing these.
He asked what?
I'm sorry. Also, he asked what South Florida Water Management District's purpose is by installing these risers. Mr. Markle stated it's not their intention to move the water as quickly as possible. The intent of the risers is to slow down the water so not to overwhelm the downstream systems. Mr. Melvin Byers confirmed with South Florida Water Management engineers that the district's engineer has the prerogative to change the permits to leave the culverts open. Mr. Markle stated that he does so long as the basic conditions of issuing the permits are met and there is not more water leaving Coquina than there should be. Mr. Byers stated that it is his belief that the concrete structures at every half mile are supposed to slow the water down. Slow down the water. He also stated these concrete structures were inspected and approved by South Florida Water Management District engineers. Mr. Markle stated that the swales and culverts are not in compliance and is why the non-compliance letter was sent to the district. Mr. Markle also stated the reason that they got involved is because of the residents. Mr. Byer stated that it is his opinion that South Florida Water Management District will cripple the water system if these culverts are changed in any way. I don't think we're ever supposed to put opinion in minutes. I think that's something that I've read that you don't put.
The prior to know every meeting,
Whatever
everything
said
was,
doesn't
whatever
mean
it said is
doesn't it?
recorded. What I used to do is if I go there and I read something I see don't look good, I put a line underneath it and it was taken out.
Okay, Mr. Felt stated the board is attempting to solve the flooding problem. Barbara Slack stated they are not doing a very good job of solving the flooding problem. Mr. Felt stated to Ms. Slack that she only owns 1 acre and therefore he does not want to hear what she has to say. Mr. Felt asked a deputy sheriff to remove Barbara Slack from the meeting for continually being disruptive. The deputy sheriff stated he could not ask any landowner to leave the meeting until he researched the matter to determine if he has the authority to do the same. Accordingly, the board determined to recess the meeting until Monday morning at 9 a.m. Mr. Felt made a motion to recess this meeting at 10:32. Here's a continued from 12:10 board meeting pursuant to, that's all the nominations. Mr. Young stated that he has reviewed the Florida statute with regards to ethics for elected officials. It states that an elected official cannot vote on a matter if they have a financial interest in it where it will benefit them financially. This was something he wanted to confirm prior to moving forward with the nominations. Accordingly, they can proceed with the nominations the way they were held at the November meeting. The chairman's report. The board discussed having Mark Boney begin mowing Canal E and him billing district by the hour. Mrs. Miles made a motion for Mr. Boney to begin mowing Canal E and pay him by the hour. Ms. Galvan seconded that motion, and the same was unanimously passed. Mr. Fairclough stated he will go behind Mr. Boney and spray. Mr. Felt, wasn't it mow the bank, or was it spray? I don't think he's into spraying yet, is he?
It's mowing the bank. He's done what with it?
No, we're talking about.
They were gonna go behind
Yeah.
the spray.
I thought they were gonna go
they
mow
gotta
the
wait
bank.
so much. Well, yeah, right now.
He's supposed to mow it.
Or sometime in the near future, they're supposed to go behind and mow.
He will,
Or,
but Danny had said he would
Fred
go
is
behind Mr.
with
Boney.
the side.
Yes, he's
The side mower first, and sometime later. Anyways, leave it spray, I don't care, but it just isn't what we
It
were
was said
hoping.
spray.
Okay, Mr. Felt stated he will not proceed with Troy Johnson land swap at this time. Mr. Young stated, the attorney's report, Mr. Young stated with regards to the website, if the district's required by Florida statute to create and maintain a website, which is to be for informational purposes, he stated the website can include audio and video. He further stated that the board is responsible for everything that goes on this website, and it is an official representation of this district. He said the board needs to appoint someone to screen and regulate everything that is uploaded on this website, and preferably it should be an employee of Pokina. He further stated this website is not to include comments and personal opinions of anyone, as it is opening itself for potential lawsuits and actions. He suggested providing a place on the website for landowners to submit their contact information if they may have any questions or concerns. Ms. Galvan suggested providing a link to the website. Mr. Young stated that if the website provides a link, it must state that the district has nothing to do with the link, as it does not want to be responsible. Ms. Galvan feels the website should be for informational purposes only. The webmaster explained to the board that he has created what he has created up to this point. He explained that he created the website, but the board needs to find someone to maintain the website. Ms. Galvan suggested the webmaster to put together a detailed description of what's required for someone to maintain the website. Mr. Felt made a motion to reimburse Mr. Bernardo for the costs he's expended on the website. Ms. Galvan seconded that motion, and the same was unanimously passed. The board discussed and agreed that the website will be taken down until it can review same, along with the district's attorney, improve the website before it can be accessed by the public. Ms. Galvan made a motion directing the webmaster to remove all personal comments and opinions from the website to be used for informational purposes as required by Florida statute, chapter 189. Mr. Belt seconded that motion, the same was unanimously passed. Mr. Bernardo requested that he be provided with this in writing, the engineer report. Mr. Clemens provided the board with his reports he attached. Mr. Clemens also provided the board with a proposal from HDPE Incorporated, see attached. The board discussed completing the crossings. Ms. Galvan asked Mr. Clemens to put together a bid proposal and email the same to each board member to review. Mr. Faircloth stated he will continue with the side mowing as soon as the equipment's repaired. Comments from the public. Mr. Gaza suggested that the personal comments and opinions be removed from the website. It should only contain information required by Florida statute. Also, he feels the website should be taken offline until the board members and attorneys have reviewed and approved the same. He also stated the board needs to adopt the new web address. Ms. Galvan made a motion to adopt the new web address, fokinawcb.com. Mr. Pett seconded that motion, and the same was unanimously passed. So Landowner asked the board if it can get additional assistance from the Sheriff's Department over the holidays. He stated the ATVs and shooting guns get worse over the holidays and additional assistance is needed. The board discussed same and asked Mr. Faircloth to contact the Sheriff's Department regarding this matter. This landowner also wants to get a petition together to ban all high-powered rifles in the district. Minutes and warrant. Ms. Galvan then read the minutes and requested some changes. Ms. Galvan made a motion to approve the minutes with the requested changes and warrants for the month of November. Mrs. Miles seconded the motion, and the same was unanimously passed. Mr. Felt announced the next board meeting will be held on January 14th, 2015 at 9 a.m. at the district's office. Mr. Felt adjourned the meeting at 12:32 p.m.
These other ones, can we wait till this is a different time?
Yeah, I think we should.
It's getting kind of late.
Well, I'd like a minute to read them over anyway.
Okay, so you're for approved. You gonna make a motion that you approve it, or you got something else going on there?
Well, I was just looking everything over. No, it's just tiny little typos that don't even matter. It's fine.
This is why I can't emphasize enough to be able to read this, and I never knew that you could go to the, I wondered, at the time I said, man, these minutes aren't what they say they are. So if you, in the past, have been going to the.
Yes, because.
And Xing a lot of stuff out?
Yes, because I read it and there's things that is on it that I don't think should be on it. I draw a line underneath it and it's reprinted. Am I correct, Ken?
How can you do that?
You know, I asked your driver to get minutes the other day when you went to town. Did they even say that to you? Did you attempt to get minutes when you went to town? Because you went into Wicks Brown and Williams, they said.
No, but Wicks Brown and Williams cannot deliver any minutes until it comes from Karen. Am I correct?
They don't have them to deliver until I give them to them.
Right, so
right,
she has to deliver the
you
minutes.
don't do a two-part meeting minutes in two parts. You wait till they're all together? Because I asked for them on Tuesday, and they said, well, we won't have those till after.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had them done, but I did not deliver them to them until after the second meeting.
And then he went after that, and I was asking his driver to pick me up a copy, and he said, I don't know what happened, but he didn't get it.
Well, when you finish the meeting, can you post it on the website?
No, not publicly, but you can email them to us, to our private.
Okay.
And then we can read through them, and if all three of us were to write back and say, I approve these, or make this change, and she could email it to us again, then we could get it approved like that. Because once all three of us approve it, we're going to sign off it, and it will be fine.
And I can start emailing as soon as I have them done, but like, for instance, last week we had 2 meetings. There's no way I could have gotten the minutes to you a week ahead of time.
Right.
But typically I do get the minutes done the day of the meeting or the day after.
Tony, is there some kind of a, we'd like to have you on these meetings, but sometimes I don't know, we're probably going to have a meeting or something that, you know, so we can, you know, talk with the community out here. And, I was wrong by saying a workshop meeting. We'll have a regular meeting.
So remember,
Discuss things
Yeah, you're talking about your regular second
Yeah,
Wednesday. Right.
for the engineer, because basically that's what we did the 5th and the 7th.
Right.
But don't you have to advertise?
Yeah.
You have to advertise.
Unless we
Oh, yeah,
continue
have
this.
advertising all right here. I mean, everything's legal. I'm just saying, do you have any objection to that? Or I mean, if we, I want to have some more meetings so that we can discuss things with the community out here and get everything going.
Because we don't want 8-hour meetings either.
And I just,
You can have more than one a month, that's what.
I'm just asking, you wouldn't be offended if we asked you not to show up to some of these?
Not at all.
Save some money.
Not at all. If you feel that, for whatever reason, you don't think anything's gonna come up or happen, that's fine. If that's what you want, I don't have any problem with that.
We're
The only
just
thing
trying to just conserve a little bit of money here.
Sure.
For you to sit here and listen to the community, whoever might be speaking, and listen to everything they have to say, I mean, it's something that's, I mean.
Well, it's the engineer report, it's very, very long.
Right.
Yeah,
And I'd rather have the engineer here on particular occasions and sit here and work things out with him. He doesn't need to sit in these long meetings either. I mean, he doesn't need to come. He can submit his report and not even come here.
Okay. I just,
The only thing I was
wanted to ask is,
if you know there's gonna be one, either the regularly scheduled one or an additional one, if you can let me know as well as you can in advance, so I can work my schedule in the office.
If we need you to come to it.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't have any problem with that at all.
okay, thank you. I just thought I
But
wanted to
Brian,
ask earlier and
does
forgot.
he, post
Okay, are we gonna adopt?
stuff on the,
Yeah, he's the first one that's become compliant with that. And that's what we were trying to set up too, is when we ask you questions, you don't necessarily have to supply the answer at our meeting in person. If you wanna supply just the report, unless we ask you to be here because we have new business, if you can get it to us 1 week in advance, we wanna get these things online so people can read them. If they have further questions, get an agenda online so everybody knows, this is a boring meeting. I have nothing, here that interests me, but this one, especially if we start having several meetings, this one is what I'm all about, and they can show up to that one and voice their concern and listen and find out what's happening.
Well, I went through 3 meetings last week, and I don't care to have any more, but I just would like to,
Yeah.
because I did go to the South Florida, meet with flood control and went through all that stuff, which.
Well, unfortunately, we can't make board decisions without
Did
us
you get
here, so we
anywhere
have to
with
get
that?
there.
Did you get anywhere with him? Oh, I've been there, done that.
I know, but you have to get an idea of what they're gonna accept.
You gotta go through it, it's part of the job, you just gotta listen to them and all that, but anyway, if somebody wants to have another meeting and you guys wanna do this, just let Tony know, and we'll, without him being here, but right now, I think we're good.
For a
while, for a month, until we get more organized.
Alright.
Unless somebody wants to do something, you can do say so now, 'cause
Well, I do have one more suggestion though, because time is slipping away. I have been bringing this up.
okay, we're almost 3 hours now.
This is quick, but I keep bringing it up and it doesn't get resolved.
Sunshine Line, we talking about the paper you got there is from.
The Sunshine District, because if somebody wants to run, and I want to go into this a lot more, but right now we do need to adopt the ballot and proxy. And I say, let's use this one as our base. I actually have this written out for Aaron.
So what is wrong with it first?
This one looks like a lawyer wrote it, and it addresses all the concerns inside of 298's legalities. So the nice thing about it is if you post this online, people can start printing them out now. But there's a ballot and a proxy, so if we tailor it to be for us, and there's a couple things that don't concern us, like they have, Well, if you just look it over, I gave you guys each a copy, can we adopt
I
this as
still
our
believe
proxy?
that, it's so simple, if somebody's gonna do a proxy. we
It's
need
too
to-
early to be doing proxies
I don't wanna
right
do
now.
it.
We need to get things changed
We
and
did a
all
little
that.
bit to try
So-
and get it, we can have.
Okay, I just wanna tell you guys something, you have 11 months by
Yes,
law.
but prior to now, we only have a month before, and everybody was in place.
Well, usually around April, people start bringing it up, so
No,
we're going.
that's just recently that
You wanna bring that
started.
up the next meeting, we'll go,
Alright.
but I think it's
Because
supposed
prior to now,
so,
nobody-
First of all, I think the
prior-
landowners need to see that.
Prior to now,
And have
nobody
some say in
interested about this board until I got on it. So everybody was asking what,
The landowners ought to have
why I
something
want
to
to
say
be on
what
the
kind of a deal you guys are gonna vote on, I mean, the proper way to vote.
The bottom
So
line
we
is,
need to- we need to.
as long as you comply with what's in 298, which
Right.
admittedly
And that's
not-
all that
not a
does.
whole lot. But the other thing is, you can't front load in a lot of restrictions that
Right.
would be different, either directly or indirectly than what's required in 298.
Right.
Okay. Did you make a copy of that?
I've already given you both a copy.
Okay.
I
I'll make up
will.
a bunch of them so I can pass them out at the next meeting and let people go home and read it and see if it's something they,
Maybe I'll
adopt,
tailor it and
because
then we'll
they-
show
they
it
are
on the
the
website or
voters.
something. Okay, that's fine.
and I think they should say what, have their say about it.
So, that's your proposal, that's what you're considering,
Right, I
and the
mean,
inside of it.
I'm sure everybody'd like to take a copy of whatever you're trying to put through there and go home and read it so that whether they agree with it or not, and then we'll adopt it as long as it doesn't create a problem. I haven't really read the thing that much. The only thing that I have against these proxies is people are signing these things and you don't even know who they are.
Well, that's addressed in this.
So, and then you
do
knock me
we
down
need, do we need
being
to have,
notarized. And
Well,
if
we
they-
need to have it notarized?
if you
No,
put
we
a
don't.
picture, who wants to send in a picture of their driver's license or a photo ID giving out their personal information on it? So the best thing I know would be to have everything notarized, but maybe the landowners don't want to do that.
Well, we could
Maybe that
say,
there is better, I'll print up some and I'll pass them out to the people and then I'll print up 50 of them, that'll be enough to pass out.
we could also say
Just to
that
split
we
the-
need a phone number to contact them. If nobody knows this person,
Well, who wants
That's
to
what
give
they
out
do.
their
Get a hold of
private
someone
phone
up
number?
in New York.
well, if
Nobody,
you don't want to, then
nobody
notarize
wants
it.
to give out their
Texas
phone number.
or anywhere. Last,
Okay, we'll just keep guessing then, Tom. We'll just wonder if that person signed. I just think that's kind of.
Helen, a notary doesn't, know what's in the document, only the signature of the person
right,
signing.
that way you know
So
that
they-
person.
I know that.
is doing it.
I'm very well aware
That
of that.
doesn't verify for you that the person owns that land. They just had a notary say their signature was
That
what we're.
verifies
That's not
that
being
they-
contested.
They
at
did
all.
their
So a
proxy vote.
notary is useless.
No. It
Okay.
says that
Wait,
person
wait,
signed
that's
that piece of paper.
it.
Then it's your job to look
Okay,
up
are
and see
you
if
gonna
that person
apply
is supposed to
So
sign it.
deal with it next, I'll print out these things, we'll let
I'll
the
type
public
it up
deal with
different and
Thank you.
print it out.
Are you gonna,
I have a business to go to.
okay, you need to make a motion that we adopt the minutes and warrants, or somebody,
I make a motion to adopt the minutes and warrants. And the second,
Go ahead, Tom.
you want a second?
You go ahead.
Second it. Done.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, our next meeting will be, February 11th, 9 o'clock. Unless, I don't think we want anything before then, we got a lot of things to do. As far as secretary and getting everything going, right? You don't want any meetings before the next scheduled month, right?
Personally, yeah, because I have a stack of stuff that I'm trying to change, and I don't know how I'm going to
Is
get it
the
changed.
meeting,
But if you don't want
is the
to,
meeting
that's fine.
adjourned, Tom? Is the meeting adjourned?
Mrs. Miles, do you want to have one more meeting before the next monthly meeting?
No, because I have a business to run. So I schedule myself a month ahead. I was just looking forward to one meeting a month. So if there is the necessity for, what do you call it, a workshop?
What is it that you wanna get through? Is there something that you wanna do here?
No,
Is
Tom,
there
let's
something
just
we can do
adjourn the
right
meeting.
now?
Come on, Carly.
You guys, you're eager to go, let's go. It's fine. It can wait till
This
next
can
year
go on
this
till
term.
midnight. I'm
Right.
not gonna sit here for it. So
Exactly.
it's
Let's
over
just
with.
do it
Done.
next year this
See ya.
term.
You don't want another
Meeting
meeting? Nobody wants
adjourned.
another meeting? I don't care. I'm tired of meetings this month. Thank you very much, people. I appreciate it. I'll have a safe month, and I'll see y'all next month. Thank you. Stop. 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Why can't we have a meeting without this?